welcome back to episode 347 of the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast.
It's Baba Louie's Hobby Hot Takes Show with producer Phil and cousin Josh.
What is happening?
Well, this show's gonna die.
Just every time we play that, you have the same reaction because you don't remember it, which is kind of awesome. It's like new to you. I think I'm gonna get you a Christmas present and then just like steal it from you and re-give it to you every year because you'll never remember it from last year, and then it'll just be like it'll be a really thoughtful gift and you'll be happy every year, and I won't have to spend money.
Groundhog Day is strong with me.
Yeah. Hi, boys. How are you?
Hey.
Great. Fighting my thing here. I'm doing awesome.
That is good. That is good. Okay, so we've had all the kids back in the house for the holiday this season. We did our Christmas decorating, finally had like a family dinner for the first time in a long time. And my wife and I get confronted by, it was like our kids did a texting intervention on us. And this was all shocking to me. And I've been wanting to actually holding this back because I can't believe that how like the different language that kids have than we do. So apparently, and you guys tell me if you knew this already, apparently Jenny and I are very aggressive texters because we use punctuation.
Oh, that's silly. That don't.
No. I guess for all kids, like if you like say, like let's say your son Cole you're picking up from school and you want him to know that, hey Cole, I'm outside waiting for you in the parking lot. And you text, I'm waiting for you in the parking lot, period. That means you're mad at him.
Who made the rules? Who made the rules of this game?
I have no idea. This is what all the children, I had 4 children in my house, son, daughter, girlfriend, and then my daughter's friend. And they all ganged up on us and said that we're really aggressive. And then we learned today that like the thumbs up emoji is like sticking your middle finger at someone. I don't know. What world do we live in? Yes.
We can't your emoji. I just use that one.
We can't let the inmates take over the asylum. And I feel that there's a lot of things in the last 10, 15 years that were like, okay, whatever. And those decisions we all made in our respective categories in our respective cities have ruined us. Right? Like I heard Cole say the other day, that's so aggro. Like that's aggression. I was like, in this house, we say complete words. We don't say that stuff. That's aggro? No, I'm sorry. That's lazy. Listen, I'm all about progressiveness and change, but certain things we have to stay true to. Language is important, right? You say that, words are important.
Well, and since when is using punctuation a bad thing?
Dad, you used
what are you guys talking about? So
you used a comma. So I thought I was in trouble. That's why.
Yeah. Well, and then my nephew, we're at Thanksgiving. Like my family's enormous, right? So there's like no small holiday. There's 50 people every time we do something. And he had with my sister-in-law, which is my nephew Charlie's mom. He went his whole first semester of college thinking his mom was mad at him the whole time because she used punctuation too.
Did you say college or grade 5?
College.
Oh boy. Got to teach these kids. Got to teach these kids resiliency.
You learn something every day.
Well, did she say to him, bruh, it's okay?
Yeah. So now I just respond to everything because I'm an a-hole with a thumbs up, period.
That's all. Give me the kids' numbers. I want to let them know too.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's roll through our announcements. So Thursday's podcast is a Wednesday live show. It's going to be Cup Release Day, and we are pleased again to have Silly Billio with us. Somebody changed his name in the notes, or Billy Celio from Upper Deck. He'll be joining us. We'll have lots of talk on the Cup because, it's like Fight Club over there. They can't talk about the Cup until it comes out. So he'll give all the messy details about the 24-25 release. We'll have some other stuff planned. And then we'll also, as per tradition, do our Ask Billy Everything. So again, we get hounded all the time, and I get it, with could you ask Billy, can you ask Upper Deck, ... these type of questions. Well, now's your chance to get on the live stream with us starting at 8 p.m. Eastern time on the Gongshow YouTube channel on Wednesday night. And you can ask Billy whatever question you want, and who knows if he'll answer them. Sometimes he answers questions he's not supposed to, and then on Thursday starts his day in a meeting in HR, which is we think is kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
So
we got to stay true to the bit. We got to stay true to the bit. Think of all the questions you have. See you Wednesday.
Philip, what went down on Friday Nights with Phil for anyone that didn't catch it?
We had a great time. Alex, Toronto Mega Sports Collector, hung out with us. I believe it's some type of combination on that in Instagram. Great guy, great friend of the show. He knows 10 times more than I have forgotten. An encyclopedia of knowledge. He's very passionate. He's a young father, so it's great to follow his journey of buying Mega Sports Collector cards and talking to him about it and his plan. Some unexpected things came up. Fake patches came up a little bit. I didn't really expect them to, but we had a great discussion. Very good, very educated. So if you have any reservations about inconsistency in certain patch cards, take a look at last Friday's Friday Nights with Phil. We had a good and a loose. So I never wanted too serious on Friday night. So it was a very loose conversation. Dave hung out with us. It was, as usual, he's my best co-host. Stay tuned for next week, though. Victoria's coming back, and I'm having a great time documenting her journey. She's really getting into the hockey cards, so we'll see what she's been up to next Friday, and it'll be the three of us. So, and it's Cup release week, and I'm not giving away a tin, but we'll definitely talk about a lot of cards. It'll be good.
Oh, yeah. Would it be smart / nice / good friends of us to even mention the video that was shared a few hours ago to the Gongshow group chat that involved our boy California Dave, who I think of our group would have the nicest reputation of all of us, but doing something in purple pants that was...
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
It's not the shark thing. He's terrorizing you with sharks. No, it was after the shark thing. No, I was doing
okay.
other stuff.
Well, here's what I think we should do about this. Since you haven't seen it, I think that the whole internet should message Dave and comment him, and we'll let him share his video for himself, maybe on Friday Nights with Phil, and explain himself, because it. I want to see if I can read I just want to read an excerpt of this, and this is like the most un-California Dave thing ever. But here's a text from. Okay, hold on, I got to find it. Okay, this is from Sylvan. He says, Dave, did you just casually run over a blank with your scooter with zero reaction? Are you a psychopath?
Oh, you're talking about the bicycle video?
It's a scooter video.
Oh, I saw that a long time. I saw that when he did it with his neighbor.
It involves a
four-legged animal.
Dave, if you're watching and listening, you better be. You should share the video on Friday Nights with Phil, and you guys can have a fun discussion. And I think he should, before people see it or hear about it, he should be there to defend himself, because it's pretty bad.
I think it's a good defense because there's context. If you don't know the context, it's terrible. But if you know the context, you'd be like, well, you should have done that worse.
He shared the video we saw at the chateau.
Yes, that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he looks horrible. He looks like a horrible person, actually.
And he's wearing purple pants.
Yeah.
Which he claims that his Ring doorbell changed his pants to purple, but I'm not buying it. So, yeah, okay, maybe we'll look forward to that on this week on Friday Nights with Phil. A few more announcements that we'll get started. Slab Sharks is a Gongshow partner sponsor. We thank them for supporting our show. The current Slab Sharks weekly eBay auction is, of course, live. Ends on Thursday night like they always do. And, boy, I was thinking the other day, with the Cup coming out this week, the next few weeks of Slab Sharks auctions heading into Christmas are going to be bonkers. I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of big, maybe Celebrini, Hudson, Mitchkoff, or Legendary 2024, 25, the Cup cards in it. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And in our humble opinion, Slab Sharks is the only way to sell your cards. I have not sold a card outside of Slab Sharks in months. And the reason is simple. It's the biggest go-to auction for hockey, and it honestly cannot be easier way to sell your cards, which is a kind of a perfect combo. If you haven't give Slab Sharks a shot, then we would highly recommend doing so. Try it one time and you'll see. It doesn't take, I don't know many people that have had a bad experience at all. And like we see it as we get submissions in from US hockey card collectors, that it's repeats over and over again. There's about 8,500 cards in this week's auction alone, and they've been averaging that or more per week lately. And I just mentioned too, if you're a U.S. hockey card collector, we partner with Slabshark, so you don't have to ship them internationally to get your cards in the biggest weekly hockey auction there is. Send them to our P.O. box. We also have an address for UPS and FedEx if you're more comfortable doing that. And for complete consignment information, including payout rates, and to get the process started today, head to slabsharks.com. PCI, Private Collection Insurance, is the official Gongshow security blanket. The market is nutty. It's going bonkers. Values are sky high. Now is a really, really good time to protect the value of the collection that you've maybe spent years, in the case of us, building. PCI policies are very flexible and affordable. It covers damage, theft while you're at shows, cards getting lost in the mail, and it's designed by collectors for collectors. It's not shoehorning a sport card collection into like a traditional insurance policy. It's specifically designed for us, knowing that cards, that we take our cards places, we move cards, they come into our collection, we buy, sell, all that good stuff. And so it's very accommodating to as how your collection evolves. So do yourself a favor, contact Enzo Ferrari and team at privatecollectioninsurance.com today. You can set up a time to chat with them about what a coverage would look like for your PC. And it's all free. The consultation, they'll answer any questions you have.
When you going back, Phil?
I'm trying to do the Enzo and Slab Sharks thing in one shot. It's not going to be next week. It's probably, if it's not going to be in 2 weeks, it'll be after Christmas.
Yeah. A twofer.
But I desperately need to go there because I picked up some big cards and I need them added to my policy.
Yeah. I might burn your house down. So you never know.
Yeah, maybe. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Well, you won't be in it. I'm not mean.
That's not what I'm talking. I'm talking about opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lastly, but not leastly, our show, this show, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast, is a Patreon podcast. Well, what does that mean? Is we really rely heavily on supportive listeners and watchers like yourself to help us cover our show expenses, continue to produce more and what we hope to be better hockey card content. We really push ourselves to do that. And then fund initiatives like Rip Party and all the other stuff we do to, even in a small way, grow the hockey hobby. You can support us for as little as $5 US a month through Patreon. Be one of the first 999 supporters of our show. You get the Future Watch Gonger title. And you also get access to our Discord, and you can join the amazing community there and do all the fun stuff we do in Discord. You get access to Behind the Bench, our exclusive Discord show that is captained by Neil IFC. He did an expo recap last week with his good buddy Jeff, who stayed with us in the house, and that was very good and entertaining. And I think he's already he did turning dollar box cards into gold with high gloss CBJ for this week too. So very good stuff from our guy Neil. What?
Hi, my name is Jeff.
Oh, my name is Jeff. If you want to support us, it's very easy to do. Just go to our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com, click on the Become a Patron link, or go to Patreon directly, patreon.com, search for Hockey Cards Gongshow. There's a link in the show description, both YouTube and the podcast apps, and our Instagram and TikTok profiles too. Wherever you see us, you'll probably find the link. Babalui, Bobalubai, Boobity, Skidoobity. There are, 4 new patrons since our last show. Please go ahead and shout them out.
Cuatro. First one to shout out is One of One Sport Card Collector.
Hey, Tom. Welcome.
What up, Tom?
Nice.
Did we spill the beans? That's all right.
Is that a friend of yours?
No, it's Tom. It's he got me
from your Expo Pickups video?
Yeah, he came to a Rip Party.
Okay.
Yeah. And we also got Josh Cohen.
Great name.
Josh.
Yeah.
Welcome, Josh.
Then, what? Al, the junkie collector.
Ooh,
now, does he collect
one of
junkie
us.
cards, or is he a junkie that's also a collector?
We need to be accepting of both.
Okay.
Yeah. Then lastly, but not leastly, we got Gongshow partner, Benjamin B.
Hey, Benjamin, that's a fellow Disney collector. Go Mickey Mouse. Yeah.
So, like 5 minutes before we were recording, I was flipping through Instagram, and I know he's got like most of the new big cards. I didn't realize, and this, I think he shared it in a post or story. He has the Future Watch Auto 101, the flop, for Celebrini, Mitchkoff, and Lane Hudson.
Oh, he's got Hudson as well.
I think so.
He has the Sorcerer's Apprentice 1 of 1 from Topps Chrome. Big fan of that. Good job,
Oh, really?
Benjamin. Yo, ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho, ho.
Wow.
How many of your Pinto Young Guns would you trade for that? That was Louis.
All of them.
Yeah, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, all of them.
oh, and we're going to get out going to the game plan in a second, but I wanted to mention too, and I forgot because we just did it. Go check out Phil's Expo pickups video that we posted yesterday on YouTube. It's very fun. And so there's some other new Gongshow content for you there too.
Whoop, whoop.
Thanks, Josh. Cards of the Stars. Nice and simple video. Right to the cards.
All right, Bob Louie, you ready with the game plan, buddy?
Always starting off with get to know your Hall of Famers. Then it's who's hot and the struggle bus. Following that, it's a little chat interview, cup breaks talk with Grant Paterson. That's Grant from GP Sports.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm. Then it's some hobby news. Then we'll get into some new product releases. Following that, Phil's on deck with the Gongshow Mailbag.
Yep.
And we'll finish up with some personal pickups.
Big show today, boys, and we're going to kick it off with our Get to Know Your Hall of Famers series. It's our attempt to educate us all on every single Hockey Hall of Fame player. We've been working, we started with the first class in 1945 and have since been working our way to present day. As of today's show, we're still in the class of 1965. And today's Hockey Hall of Famer we're going to learn more about is Red Horner. Red Horner. Red Horner.
Red.
Sounds like an old-timer football name more than a hockey name to me, but are you familiar with Red, Baba Louie or Philip?
Negative.
The Shawshank Red.
Different scenario, but sure.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, great movie. I just saw that last week with Hasselhoff. It was one of the proudest days of my life watching
Never
that with
gets
my
old,
son.
does it?
Pardon me?
Never gets old, does it?
No, it's incredible film. Incredible. Very moving.
Okay, George Reginald Red Horner lived from 1909 until passing away at the age of 95 years old in 2005. He was born in Lyndon, Ontario, and passed away in Toronto. Horner was a right shot defenseman, a pretty big guy, 6'1", played 190 pounds. And in an NHL career that lasted from 1928 until 1940, he played for just the Toronto Maple Leafs, Phil's favorite team. Horner won the Stanley Cup in 1932. He was also the Maple Leafs captain for the final 2 seasons of his career. And in 490 NHL games, he scored just 42 goals, added 110 assists for not a very impressive, but 152 points, but also had 1,254 penalty minutes.
Boy.
Good job.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So again, we'll get back to that soon. After retiring in 1940, Horner lived in Florida and Toronto and then got involved in the business world and had some success there. Why should you care about Red Horner? As a teenager, George Red Horner came up through the Toronto Marlboros. Not great cardio because of, the smoking. Helping them win the 1929 Memorial Cup alongside future Leaf stars like Charlie Conacher and Harvey Busher Jackson. That junior team was loaded, and Horner was already known as a tough, steady defenseman rather than a flashy puck mover. His NHL leap came in peak old-time hockey fashion. In December 1928, he played for the Toronto Dukes, then a Brokers League game the next day. And that night, Conn Smythe literally picked him up in his car and drove him to make his Maple Leafs debut against the Pittsburgh Pirates. It was his third game in about 24 hours, and it launched a 12-season career in Toronto.
3 games in 24 hours. That can't be healthy.
Probably not.
No.
In only his second NHL game against the Montreal Maroons, Horner was slashed repeatedly on the wrist by star scorer Nell Stewart and broke his hand. Instead of shutting it down, he kept playing and didn't miss a game, later saying that night kind of set the tone for the years which followed in terms of how much punishment he was willing to absorb. Horner arrived in the NHL as a pretty normal junior defenseman, but almost immediately he became the Leafs policeman. With a roster that featured smaller, skilled forwards, he felt it was simply understood, never ordered by Smythe, that someone had to protect them, and he decided that that someone was him. His penalty minutes tripled from 30 in his rookie year to 96 in his second season as he leaned into the enforcer role. In the early 1930s, he settled in as the muscle behind the famous kid line of Conacher, Primeau, and Jackson, pairing often with King Clancy on the blue line. Writers later joked that Clancy loved to start scrapes he had no intention of finishing. Horner's job was to show up, wear the sheriff's badge, and make sure opponents thought twice about taking liberties with Toronto's stars. That reminds me of the Back to School. Remember the old Rodney Dangerfield movie where he's in a bar? Rodney's in a bar with his limo driver / bodyguard, and he's like, and some guy wants to fight him, and he's like, "Oh, I don't fight, but he does."
I'm not a big Dangerfield guy.
Really? Oh, I love Rodney.
Yeah, he's very good with the kids. Yeah.
Oh,
PG. Yeah. You like balloon animal artists too, Josh?
Somebody mute Phil, please.
All right, come on.
The defining hockey memory for Horner is the 1931-32 season when Toronto, wearing their now classic striped blue and white sweaters, won the Stanley Cup. During part of that playoff run, he played with a broken hand taped to his stick. When the Leafs finally clinched the cup, he reportedly collapsed in the dressing room from pain.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's pretty intense, man. You can
Very
make a movie
intense.
out of the stuff like that. Yeah.
His pain tolerance became legendary. On another occasion, he played through a broken thumb by using a steel hook inside his glove to hold and control his stick, basically jury-rigging his own adaptive equipment just to stay in the lineup at a time when players almost never admitted being hurt. For all the talk about his fists, Horner could chip in offensively. In 1933-34, he scored 11 goals from the blue line, a big number for a stay-at-home defenseman of that era, and finished with 21 points and 146 penalty minutes. Peak do everything and hit everyone Red Horner season. From the early 1930s on, the penalty box was basically rented in his name. He led the NHL in penalty minutes season after season, and in 1935-36 racked up 167 penalty minutes in just their 43 games. A single season record that stood for about 20 years, and also topped the playoffs in penalty minutes twice, underlining how central his physical game was when the stakes were at their highest. One famous snapshot of peak Horner: in a game, he once spent 17 minutes in the penalty box just in the first period. Newspapers and later obituaries called it the first real bad boy of professional hockey, but to the Leafs, he was simply doing his job, soaking up punishment, intimidation, and penalties so his teammates didn't have to. Even in games that weren't especially nasty, his reputation followed him. In one contest, the only penalty of the night was called on Horner for hooking Montreal's Pit Lepine. When he sat down in the box, referee and former Hab Battleship Leduc actually apologized, saying he meant to call it on Sweeney Shriner instead. Everyone just assumed Red was the guilty party.
Pit Lepine and Sweeney Shriner.
Yeah,
It's like
they don't have good nicknames anymore.
It's like River Phoenix in Stand By Me when he tells that very long story about when he was crying, how everyone thought it was him who stole the lunch money. And then he was like, well, I did, but it bothered me that they thought I did. You actually did steal the money, though.
Another story from the rough and tumble mid-30s has Horner tangling with an opponent named Lamb. As Red was being sent to the box, Lamb raised his stick as if to continue the fight. Horner's stickless paused, but his teammate Busher Jackson flew in and flattened Lamb with a cross-check. A pretty good illustration of how Horner's teammates were just as ready to have his back as he was to have theirs. By 1938, after a decade of doing the dirty work, Horner was named captain of the Montreal Leafs, the Toronto Maple Leafs, wearing the C for his final 2 seasons. A hometown player who never wore any sweater but Toronto's, he captained a roster where he wasn't the flashiest defenseman. King Clancy and Hap Day already had that covered, but he was trusted as the heartbeat of the team's toughness and compete level. But it sounds like the Maple Leafs could use a Red Horner in the last decade or so. When he retired in 1940, Horner had played 490 games, all for the Leafs, with 42 goals, 110 assists, and more than 1,200 penalty minutes, leaving the league as its all-time PIM leader and the guy who'd essentially owned the penalty minute crown for most of the 1930s. For fans who grew up on Saturday nights listening to the Leafs, his name was synonymous with big hits, brawls, and hard minutes on the back end. In 1965, the Hockey Hall of Fame inducted Red Horner as a player, a decision that some have called controversial because he was rarely viewed as the best defenseman on teams that also featured Hall of Famers like King Clancy and Hap Day. But his case rests on something different, a cup-winning, all-Toronto career defined by unmatched physical dominance, leadership as Leafs captain, and an unprecedented run as the NHL's penalty minute king that helped define what tough means, Leafs hockey looked like for an entire era.
That's tough, man. I struggle constantly with the Hall of Fame metrics and credentials, right? Like, I would love Don Cherry to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. No broadcaster has ever been in or maybe Foster Hewitt, maybe. I mean, he should be. But on that reason alone, then no, Don Cherry should not be in the Hall of Fame. But then I'm like, well, he did coach. He wasn't that great of a coach. So it is the Hall of Fame, I think, should be if you have a lasting legacy in the game of hockey. I don't think it has to be the best. Well, within that logic, you could be a jerk. Like Sean Avery should be in the Hall of Fame then because everybody knows who he is, big jerk. So that doesn't really make sense. I don't know. I struggle with this, but Red Horner should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. If someone has an impact like that, how do you measure the weight of a vibe in a locker room, right? How do you measure that? How do you measure chemistry that's floating in the air? You can't,
Yeah, can't, like, for a forward, should it just be 500 plus goals or something like that, where it is now, where Red Horner only had 42 goals. But when you listen to just that short recap of his career, he seems like every bit a Hall of Famer and just as important to those Maple Leafs teams as some of the other guys.
You can be,
go ahead, Louis.
You can be an ambassador of this game in just your actions and the way you carry yourself and boost other players, other people, no matter who they are, office people or players, and not have, or I feel, and not have to have top numbers in the game.
How do you track that though, right? How do you record that? That's the problem. It's
talking. I mean, if you hear stuff all the time, you gotta, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I fear for like guys like Red Horner that as his role and his position on the team gets more and more phased out of the game of hockey, would 10 years from now, will a young kid even be able to comprehend kind of how he played the game and why it was so important to his team's success?
You can't even body check someone. You can't lay out a clean body check without a bunch of other. It's usually I don't know. Without other people getting very upset. It's bonkers. I mean, if Semenko wasn't on the Oilers, everybody would have had liberties, with Wayne. But it's just such a different game of hockey, man. You can't be tough in today's game. I think the last real talented tough guy in the league is Brady Tkachuk, Tom Wilson, Brad Marchand, those types of players, and those are all a dying breed. We're not going to see players like. That's why I gravitated towards Brady. When I saw him play in Boston, I was like, oh my God, he plays like his father. Well, same but different. But it's not going to exist again. It's just not.
Well, you pick two of the biggest on ice buttholes, though.
Well, that's part of us having that attitude. But where I would have even pushed back on and this is not to throw shade at Brady, but it's kind of true, is that, yeah, he's tough in one respect, but when you look at like guys like Horner and how injured they played, it's hard to imagine any Tkachuk playing 40 games now in a season because they're constantly hurt. Like
Isn't
many
it?
Players.
Who was the Canadian? I should know this. There's a Montreal Canadian who scored a goal in the Stanley Cup Finals with a broken leg. Was it Henri? Was it Richard?
I don't remember, but I
don't know. There's
right.
someone. I mean, I read it like 10 times. See this? Oh, it's a curse. But yeah, you're right. Basically, what we're saying is we're not as tough as they were back then, and I agree.
And some of it's smart, right? You probably shouldn't be playing in some of those cases, especially with the head stuff. I mean, imagine how many guys in the 30s, 40s, and 50s had major concussions, and it was not safe for them to be out there. We're a lot more careful about that. But when it comes to like thumb injuries and stuff, like you see like, current NHL player breaks his thumb, misses 9 weeks. That would have never happened back in the day.
Yeah, that would have not happened whatsoever. No.
So, all right,
Bob-
let's take a. Oh, you got something?
Bobby Bond.
Bobby Bond, what?
Unless there's another guy that did it.
Oh, okay. Scored the goal in the
Stanley Cup final.
Oh, I can't hear. Sorry, you're cut. I didn't hear what you said.
Bobby Bond, Game 6 of the 1964 Stanley Cup final.
Yeah.
Blocked a shot from Gordie Howe, which resulted in a broken leg.
Yeah, not Henri Richard. Yes, correct. Thanks.
All right, let's take a quick look at the Red Horner hobby market. So his rookie cards are found in the 1933 sets, and there were 4 sets that year. We're going to run through all 4 of his rookie cards quickly, and then I picked out another Playing Days card, just a feature that I thought was cool. The first one we'll look at is the 1933 Hamilton Chewing Gum card, number 21. The PSA 7 pictured on YouTube is a high-selling copy, having sold for $2,438 US in March 2023. It's a nice-looking card, I think.
Very nice.
The next Horner rookie is from the 1933 O-Pee-Chee Series A set. It's card number 10. The highest selling copy again is another PSA 7 that we're looking at on YouTube. Sold for $1,532 US in October 2013. Then we have another rookie from the 1933 Worldwide Gum set, card number 16. This PSA 5 highest seller, having fetched $900 US in February of this year. So a pretty recent sale on that one. And then the last one we'll show from 1933 is a Canadian chewing gum. All the same photo.
All the same picture. All the same picture.
But I think that's what whoever took the photo, that's the story like Bobby Burrell told us or something like that, where they just went to all these different printing companies and shopped it around and said, hey, you want to make hockey cards? And they basically had the same set of photos. So it's the Canadian Chewing Gum V252 set. Highest seller is this PSA 5 that we're looking at, sold for $620 US in August 2022. And then I promised one non-rookie Playing Days card. And I just think the 1937 O-Pee-Chee set is kind of cool. It's very different. And his card in that set is card number 31. And if you're watching on YouTube, we're looking at a PSA 7 that's a high seller. It went for $752 US in January of 2020. There's a few more cards, and there's all like the faux beehive photos and stuff like that too, that you can probably go find on like TCDB. But that, boys, is your Hockey Hall of Famer, Red Horner.
Good job, Josh.
What a
I
rebel.
love those gum cards, the 33 V252s.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, they're amazing. They're to me 1,000 times better than any 51 Parky. 1,000 times better. 20 years before, almost, and you get a photograph and a cool, non-traditional sports card. Love it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it's time for Who's Hot in the Struggle Bus. We're at week 8 already of the 25-26 NHL season. And it's our time for a weekly look at who's hot and who's firmly planted their butt in their seat on the struggle bus. We've each picked a player to highlight, and we'll start like we always do with our picks for who's hot. So I went first, and someday destined for the Nobody Cares Hall of Fame. Nikita Kucherov, of course, is off to another amazing start this season. In the past 2 weeks, he has 4 goals and 13 assists for only 17 points in 8 games played. And if you want to talk about being on a heater, we could pretty much nominate the entire Tampa Bay team at this point. So again, going back to the last 2 weeks, the 4 players in the NHL with the most points all play for the Lightning. You have Kucherov with 17, Brandon Hagel with 13, Darren Radish with 13, and then Jake Gensel has 11. He's tied with Nathan McKinnon, Zach Werenski, and Rasmus Anderson, but that's pretty wild. Wow. Back to Kucherov, though. On the 25-26 season, he now has 11 goals, 32 points in 23 games played. He hit 1,000 career points this year at 32 years old, which is kind of cool. So that's another milestone he's passed early in the season. And he has a shot, a pretty realistic one, honestly, at 32 years old, to get to 500 goals and 1,500 or more points in probably the next 4 to 5 years if he continues to play well. And that's one thing about Kucherov, too, that you can really admire is his consistency. He's on a current 3-year streak of 100 or more points. Going back to his career too, he's a plus 164. So he's not just good on the offensive end. He, contributes to winning for his team, and he's super durable. He's averaged about 80 games played in the last 3 years too. Again, fantastic player, but the hobby doesn't care. Nikita Kucherov is a 2013-14 Young Guns PSA 10 pop 568, 53% gem rate that last sold for $465 on November 27th. Down 7% in the past month, up 3% though over the past 6 months. When looking at the 52-week high, sold for as much as $893 in the past year and as little as $400 in the past year.
You think he'll ever take off? You think he'll just stick? It'll just take off one day with Kucherov? I don't think so.
I don't either.
Like,
I don't know what it is. The lightning thing. I mean, he's not like a huge goal scorer, but he's so good and he's so consistent every year.
Yeah. Is he on the line with Gensel? I don't watch enough Tampa games. They're probably pretty exciting to watch. They're a powerhouse, man. They're terrifying.
Oh, they've been destroying everybody in the last, few weeks.
Quietly.
Baba Louie, who did you put on Who's Hot?
I put Mr. Logan Cooley, who went to the correct U of M, University of Minnesota.
The only U of M, let's be honest.
Very true. Very true. So, hey, if you remember, the Mammoth gave this guy a big old 8-year, $80 million extension on October 29th this year. 10 points in his last 10 games, 7 points in his last 5. And even on a team that hasn't been, we call that not so much of an offensive juggernaut. NHL Edge, if nobody's ever gone there, it's a pretty sweet website. You can find a lot of good stuff there if you're a numbers stat geek. Has them at 26% shooting so far, which is top end in the league and way above a typical first line center's long-term normalcy. So at a high volume of his shots are from the slot or off the rush rather than low danger, what I call marshmallow fluff. We know who that is.
Ryan Suter type shot.
So right now it looks like chemistry with this team's high skilled wingers has finally started clicking. He's taken on a bigger role. He's always on the number one power play, and that seems to be helping his stats out. He's gone from a promising young center to a focal point of Utah's offense. He's been playing between 18 and 20 minutes most nights, and is the top offensive center both at 5-on-5 and on the power play unit. And he's out there with Clayton Keller, Nicky Schmaltz, Dylan Gunther, and Malachi Sergachev. Mikhail. What did I say? Malachi. Oof.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's biblical.
My own typing. Let's see why I lost my spot with the Malachi thing. Got it. A lot of his minutes come with the team's best finishers and puck movers. So simply, him being on the ice gets him involved in a bunch of different chances. That results with him already at 14 goals, tied for 11th in the NHL, and leads the Mammoth in goals on a middling team that's just slightly above 500. Now, Cooley has 23 points in 26 games, so that's 14 goals, 9 assists, and he leads Utah. He has 10 points in his last 10 games, like I said before, including a 4-goal, 5.9 versus Vegas last Monday. One extra note, he did suffer a lower body injury with a knee-on-knee hit versus St. Louis the other night, and right now is listed day-to-day, so there could be a short pause in this little heater he's on, but let's hope he can pick it back up and continue this fun little streak. He is a 2023 Young Guns PSA 10 pop of 933 with a gem rate of 42%. Last sale was November 27th for $157 USD, which is up about $20 in the month of November right now.
Yeah, Cooley a little under the radar with all the rookies and sophomores and third-year players popping off right now, but still very good. And there's a list of like probably 4 or 5 of these guys that, like Leo Carlson, you could put in there, Fantilli probably too, that are, kind of right there. Phil, who did you
think
put
I
on who's
got a Cooley question though. Do you guys think he'll
Yes.
you think he'll be on USA? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't looked into that.
So you're not lacking in the center position. I mean, that'd be
Yeah.
pretty. What's he, your 4th line center? He's not going to play that type. That's not what you don't. Logan Cooley does not play 4th line center.
No, you want a bigger body
Yeah.
there. Well, I would say if we keep getting injured like we have been, there might be a good chance. But that would probably be his way onto the team through attrition due to injury.
How old is he? He's got to be early 20s now, right? 22, 23?
2021,
maybe?
something like that.
Oh, man.
22 maybe,
Okay.
yeah.
I highly recommend go check out a Utah game on television and watch how good he is. I have not seen a game where he does not stand out. He's
got great
excellent
hands,
player.
man. Like
Yeah.
his moves are very nice. All right, Phil, who did you put on who's hot?
Moves like Jagger.
That's a song for the young kids if they don't know. So my pick, who's like a rocket ship, as Mr. Madigan mentioned earlier, my pick is Brandon Hagel. I don't like Tampa Bay, but I respect them. So Brandon's had 8 goals and multiple assists across 5 games. 8 goals in 5 games with extra assists. 2 goals, 2 assists in 1 game versus Washington. He had a 3-point night against Philly as well. 5-game goal streak and 12 goals in November overall. He's tied with Jason Robertson for the most in the league that month. He's been playing top-line minutes with Kucherov and Cirelli. Not that Cirelli's anything to write home about, but he is a very dependable center. I believe Tampa Bay drafted and groomed him, and that's the way. That's such a bad word now. You know what I mean. Okay.
Wait, can I stop you for a second?
Yeah, what's up?
You had a very great question about 4 minutes ago about Kucherov.
Yeah.
And what line does he play on? Now, had you referenced your own research for the show, where you just told us what line that Brandon Hagel plays on a line with Kucherov and Anthony Cirelli, you could have answered your own question. I'm just pointing that out.
Well, if you'd let me finish. So the reason that is because Braden Point is injured.
Oh.
Thank you. Yeah, there we go. Context. It's good. And information. Sometimes when you have more information, you can make a better decision.
Okay.
I try to do that. That's okay,
Okay,
Madigan.
okay.
All
I
right.
have all bad takes on everything in hockey.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
All right.
So he also scored a shorthanded goal versus Washington, means he's very good clutch, and he had an empty netter in Detroit, but he's consistent in generating early goals and popping in goals when they matter. Clutch. He started this season pretty rough, though. He didn't have any goals in his first 8 games. But since October 26th, check this out, he has 15 goals in 16 games. Who is this guy, Rocky Richard? As of November 20th, he's got a total of 12 goals and 24 points in 22 games. So it's a full bounce back, boys. Paired with Kucherov, they're creating quite the lethal combo. Kucherov has pulled up multiple point nights while feeding Hagel. John Cooper called it offense as defense. I don't even know what that means, but I wrote it in there. Carried Tampa Bay through major injury absences. Braden Point, Hedman, Cernak. It doesn't stop, but his scoring has helped fuel a 7-game win streak at the time of this recording. 15 wins in an 18-game span. As my boy Louis said, they're quietly destroying teams.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically the team's most consistent scorer during this stretch. So Brandon Hagel's a 2021 Young Guns. PSA 10 has a pop count of 175. The last one sold for 44 bones on November 25th, 2025. He's grown. It's been about 20% growth rate this year, which is negligible. But if this heater holds up, there may be a big upside to his hobby value. Probably not, but you never know.
All right, thank you, Phil. And there it is, right on time. Just pulled up the old struggle bus. And I had to put Columbus Blue Jackets Ken Johnson this week on the old struggle bus. He has 0 points in his last 2 weeks and 6 games played and is -4. Is that good?
Aw, he's such a good player, though. I like
Yeah.
Kent Johnson.
Well, Phil, it doesn't get much better for the 23-year-old when you zoom out to his season to date stats, where he currently sits at 2 goals and 5 points with a -12 in 24 games played.
Ah, this is bad.
Bring him to Ottawa. We'll take you, Kent.
Mm.
That's pretty bad.
That's why they wear Safe Light on their jerseys. Safe Light repair, Safe Light replace with somebody better.
Ooh. Shots
Is that a
fired.
night? Is that a nightlight or something? What's safe light?
I don't know what is safe light.
They're the auto glass windshield
Oh,
replacement company.
Oh, it's
replace
what
your auto glass. I get it.
I thought. Safe light was what Josh puts on after a scary movie. Jenny, can you put the bathroom light on and close the door a little bit? Okay, as you were saying, Kent
As I
Johnson.
was saying, this is all coming off a breakout season last year when Kent Johnson had 24 goals, 57 points in 68 games played. And I did some digging as to what's going on. So I got some what the analysts are saying, and then I reached out to our buddy High Gloss CBJ, John, who's a Blue Jackets super fan, and said, John, what's going on with KJ here? And so here's what the analysts had to say first. Well, number one, they pointed out that Dean Evison, the Blue Jackets coach, has already healthy scratched him. And then, again, later confirming it wasn't due to illness, but coach's decision. And apparently it's almost the defensive issues that are a bigger deal with the coaching staff than the lack of offensive production. In short, the staff wants more wall battle wins, better details without the puck, and more consistent effort shift to shift. And as a result, time of ice is down from 17 minutes, 18 seconds last year to 14 minutes, 36 this year. Last year, he spent a lot of time in the top 6 and built chemistry with like Fantilli and Bruce Jenner. And then this season, he's been moved around a lot, so that probably hasn't helped. And occasionally, he's been not on the power play and all that stuff too. And then when I asked High Gloss about what his read on the Kent Johnson situation is, he said it's baffling to him what's going on, that a lot of turnovers. He's not shooting very much, and and then he referenced all the movement and line changes for Johnson. And overall, it looks like just that KJ has lost his mojo that he developed last year.
It's in the noggin. He's got the yips. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
And you know what's another funny thing? A lot of young hot shots and superstars, they're not playing good away from the puck. I referenced Trevor Zegras. That was his biggest knock. He's got no defensive game. My Timmy Stützle, for 3 years, the guy didn't understand how to skate back. Now that's why Tim Stützle is excelling his superstar status. He plays a two-way game, and my coach will bench him if he doesn't. Well, maybe not now, but you have to get that two-way game. Almost done. I'll give another example. Dylan Cousins. Remember how happy I was?
Yeah.
I'm still happy he's on this end. He does not know how to play defense. These young men, I guess, have been the best in every league they've played, and they don't know how to play very well away from the puck. Those board battles, like, is it beneath you or something? I don't understand.
Wasn't that a North American thing? Like, that's a lot of times the appeal of the Swedes and Finlanders that come over, because like the Finnish hockey league is like very defensive oriented. So like all like, it's kind of like where the Selke winners come from now. Like Leo Carlson is praised for having a great two-way game, or Barkov, people like that.
I thought I was going to disagree with you because I didn't think. Now listen, no, I'm not. Nobody take offense, and if you do, I don't care. The Euro was kind of a softer play, right? Like you could out-muscle them on a puck, kind of thing. Yes, there's outliers, but they're more defensively sound. But you could bump them off the puck, rub them out easier, and just take the puck away from them.
But again, that whole physicality thing is leaving our game
Mm-hmm.
with all these little, fancy dancy Michigan lacrosse goal, scores.
We got rid of so much clutch and grabbing already. Like what?
Yeah.
You gotta listen. I don't even care if they take fighting out of the game. I really don't. But dude, you can't take the hardcore physicality of it. Like you gotta lay guys out. You gotta drop them sometimes. I hope that never leaves our game.
Well, Kent Johnson is a 23-24 Young Guns PSA 10 pop, $398, 30% gem rate, last sold for $68 on November 27th, down 38% since the start of the season. Baba Louie, huge shots fired to whoa. Louis, quit the
Hello?
show.
Huh. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you all right?
Louis, where are you?
Louis from heaven.
Yeah.
Well, before Louis died and Phil brought him back to life with Mouth to Mouth, which we should have left the camera running. It was beautiful. It was romantic, some might say.
That's passionate.
I was going to mention that major shots fired from Baba Louie to fellow Gongshow little baby boy Chandler
Why is that?
in your pick. You picked his favorite player for the struggle bus. So I'll let you get into it now.
Oh, well, listen up, D-Gens. When you're not good, you're not good. So here's the thing. We'll start off here. Short version. I'll make it snappy. Toffoli isn't falling off a cliff, so it's okay, Chandler. You'll be fine. But he's underperforming relative to what a 30-goal, $6 million top-line winger should look like, especially playing with Celebrini and Will Smith. Now, 5-on-5, he seems to be lately deferring more and letting Celebrini drive entries and letting Smith make plays, and he just kind of slides himself off into the soft areas. Now, while that's great for the kids, it naturally will knock down his own individual shot totals and primary scoring chances. I think as a vet, he still needs to get in there and make something happen. So when your value is supposed to be, I'm the 30-goal finisher sliding toward smart veteran who supports chip in and not doing much, kind of looks like a step back to me.
Okay.
I was watching him the other night, and he just needs to continue playing the way he can play with these kids. And that note in there about him just kind of coughing it, not, I shouldn't say coughing it up, not a turnover, but handing it to the young lads to play. I just wish he'd do what he needs to do, what he knows how to do. There was a Sharks analytics breakdown. One of the guys basically said the same thing, that with that trio on the ice, San Jose's fun and creates offense, but they give back a ton back in their own end. Now, last year, he put up 30 goals, 24 assists for 54 points in 78 games. This year, he's sitting at 5 goals, 9 assists for 14 points through 24 games. So roughly, it's a 50% cut in goals per game and a 15 to 20% drop in his total scoring rate. So he's not getting pucks on net like he did in his 30-goal season. And we still, again, talk about shots on net, shot. So when a player who's never been a pure burner loses some shot volume, the goals dry up fast. And this is the same thing I saw in him when he was with New Jersey.
Oh.
Which, I mean, he's a smart hockey player, but gotta light a fire.
He's a dangerous hockey player. And how many teams has he played on? Like, what, 15?
Every
It's
team.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised the Wild haven't gotten him yet. They kind of get all the washed up.
Still lots of time. Is he even 30?
Give him time, right? Yeah, he is actually.
No, he's got to be, yeah.
He's a 2013 Young Guns PSA 10 with a pop of 224, and holy crap, get this, gem rate of 74%.
That's
like
it.
It's 74.41%. Yeah, his last sale was for 41 USD on November 6th, and I went back and looked. There wasn't a bunch of numbers, but the card is up over the past 6 months, $20. It's always just hovered around that $20 range. So I don't know, maybe being on the line with the kids is attracting attention, and Chandler's going to have some competition here collecting Toffoli.
No, he won't. No one's collecting Toffoli.
No.
Well, it's wild that he's playing on a line with Celebrini and he doesn't have more assists.
Sure.
How do you have 9 assists for one of the? And yeah, he seems like a little bit of dead weight on that line.
Dead weight. Does he
Dead
have
weight.
a card? Here's a challenge for Chandler, the only Tyler Toffoli collector on the planet. Maybe his mom, so that's cool. Does he have a card of every team he's ever played for? Because didn't
I don't know.
Winnipeg? I think Winnipeg picked him up Oh, I really hope I'm not wrong on that. I think Winnipeg picked him up and he played like, what, 10 games? 15 games or something? I don't know. I know he's played like on 7 or 8 teams.
Winnipeg,
Alrighty.
Devils, Calgary, Montreal, Vancouver, and the Kings.
Jeez.
Oh, I thought it
the
was
team.
more than that. I thought it was actually more than that.
All right,
Alrighty.
Phil, who's your pick for the struggle bus?
Jonathan Fingers. Sorry, Toes. Jonathan Toes. Taves
Fingers.
Toes. So, I like Jonathan, but unfortunately, we got to call a spade here. So, he's averaging. He had a 4-point game in Washington and a 3-point game against Philly. He didn't do. Oh crap! I incorrectly did this. I made a big mistake, and I need to throw in the towel here. I picked 2 players incorrectly. I do not have a struggle bus player. I cannot say Jonathan Tays. He's
But here's what you can do. I didn't read the rest of it, but I noticed that at the end you can go to you can do this part right here on the screen.
I wrote it incorrectly. Yeah, listen. Okay, I don't need to give stats in too much. Thank you, Louis. He's not doing so hot. I think Winnipeg thought they were going to have a much better veteran presence. And you know what? Saying that, I don't know how he is in the locker room. I don't know how he is with the boys, the younger lads. Maybe takes them out to dinner, showing them how to tape their stick better. I'm not too sure what's going on, but he's not having the point season I think the Winnipeg fans wanted. As you can see, he doesn't have very many points. He's got 3 goals on the season. I don't understand what's going on there. Did management expect him just to come in maybe and be more of a locker room guy? I don't think so. I think Winnipeg actually wants him to contribute, right? So, I mean, he's got to be playing second line minutes. I know he is. He might even be able to bump up to the first if Scheifele is having an off game or something. I highly doubt that. But, if you're playing on a line with Cole Perfetti,
Mom spaghetti.
I think you should be doing a little better. And I'm pretty sure that Tays and Perfetti have been together all year. And I don't know if Niederreiter's on their line as well, but I was very surprised when I looked up some Jonathan Tays stats. And he's definitely struggling, but he's also like almost 40. So I don't know.
Well, that's what I was going to say is it's a great story. And he was, very much known as the captain and the leader of the Blackhawks, big cup run a number of years ago. But he played 70 games in 4 years total. And he's 37 years old. Oh, wow. He had chronic health issues that seemed pretty debilitating. So much he had to walk away from the game. And so when you come back, it's it's hard to know what the realistic expectation should be. I think the same as probably with, who knew what to expect from Gabriel Landeskog this year too.
Guido Fleur played well when he came back. Did Michael Jordan
he had great
when he came back? Did Michael Jordan play well for the Wizards when he came back or no?
Not to Michael Jordan standards, but Michael Jordan played well when he came back after his baseball retirement / gambling 2-year suspension. But
okay.
Oh, I was just looking up. So Landeskog has 5 goals and 12 points in 25 games played. A little bit better, but not exactly lighting the world on fire either.
I worry about that. You lose when I played baseball, I took a couple of months off after the summer, and just the 2 months, the speed of a pitch as you grow up, you have to grow with the speed of the pitch. If these hockey players, if you take a year off, aren't you missing tempo, rhythm, cadence? Your central nervous system isn't keeping up to par with the pace of the hockey game. And if you're out of the game that long, what'd you say, 70 games in 4 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not feeling the rhythm of the league moving forward with that. And I think you're dead in the water, especially these days, man.
Mm-hmm. All right, to recap, who's hot for this week? We had Nikita Kucherov, Logan Cooley, and Brandon Hagel. 2 of the 3 were Tampa Bay Lightning's players. And then on the struggle bus, we had Kent Johnson, Tyler Toffoli, and Johnny Fingers, as we now call him on the show, Jonathan Taves. Mm-hmm. Great name, Phil. Well, GP Sports Cards, the official breaking partner of the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast, and Wednesday is Grant's Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. He could not be more excited. Cup release day. He's been training for at least 6 months for this. Lots of finger stretching. Red Bull gone into his
Yeah.
probably preparation. And we had the chance to catch up with Grant this past weekend while he was on location in Leduc, Alberta, which I think is by Edmonton, to see what he thinks of the Cup checklist and what it's like for a hockey breaker on Cup release week. So enjoy this conversation with Grant from GP Sports. Well, we're pleased to welcome back to the show Grant from GP Sports Cards. Hey, Grant, how are you doing?
Good, Josh. Thanks for having me on.
Are you familiar with the whole Grant from GP Sports Cards thing that's going on, especially in our Discord?
With Phil?
Well, with Phil, but then somebody, so you can program bots in Discord. So anytime somebody types out the word Grant, there's an automated bot that comes in that adds from GP Sports Cards.
Okay, I didn't know that was where it stemmed from.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's kind of taken on a life of its own, but yeah, it is pretty funny. Well, first of all, where are you, man? This is a new location for you.
Yeah, I'm in Leduc, Edmonton, Alberta. We're here for the weekend doing some buying, and we got a local show with Luke that we're flew out for. So excited, a nice weekend in Edmonton right before the Cup, and yeah, doing some buying and collections, looking at some collections this week.
Nice. Okay. Well, it's a huge week, and we have 24-25, the Cup, which comes out on Wednesday. The first thing that struck me in the last couple of days as we're working on our previews too is we're basically 6 months away from the last Cup release. Is that kind of strange to have a Cup come out, or 2 Cups come out in such short order?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, Upper Deck's finally, caught up. So I think that's going to be the last time we see something where there's 2 Cup releases in the same year. But it's almost good to see, because the way 23-24 Cup went, it dried up so fast, and like it's like a standstill for Cup. And I always say it's like pretty important to have, if you don't have Cup, you have a substitute with another high-end product or something, because Cup being in rotation and still being available to the public is important for collectors to be able to go and buy a box that's not crazy overpriced. And we're almost getting there. So, but now if you didn't see this new release of the Cup, I think older years would dry up and it would just get harder and harder to find. So it's good timing on it.
You were just telling me before we started recording that you were looking at the checklist earlier today. What's your overall impression from like your first glance perspective?
So I was sort of like, I was going through it and I was like, him and Hein. I like a few of the sets that they're bringing back. I like a few of the designs. They look great off the bat. But I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not seeing a lot of Legends content. That was the first thing that came to my mind. Like I could not find more than like 8 Legends guys. But if you do look at the updates, there's a lot of great updates this year. So I was like, okay, like a good checklist. Like what I'm seeing. But when I got to the updates, I was more excited about some of those chase cards and some of those unique stuff that are seeming to be in the update set this year. So.
Yeah, I was talking to Billy Celio the other day, and he's going to be on our Wednesday live release show. And I actually had a very similar reaction to you, as I thought, I don't have the context that you do, and sort of have maybe put to memory to the degree the checklist that you have. But I thought, man, is there as much Legend cards as we're used to? And I had asked Billy if that might have to do with ingrained icons coming out in a couple months. He seemed to think no, but I wonder, we'll ask him if they plan to maybe add more Legend content in the Cup going forward. You kind of mentioned the design. The big part of the design is the RPA. I really like it. I like really clean designs, and it's got like a very like brushed, like stainless steel sort of look to it this year. It's very silver, not white or cream background as we've seen in other years. But what did you think of the rookie patch auto design for 24-25?
So I'm one of those guys that like it takes a while for me to sort of set in my opinion. Just like this year's Young Guns, like I hated the design right out the gate, and it sort of grew on me a little bit more and more. I'm still not my favorite design of the Young Guns, but it grew on me. First initial reaction to the design was like, this gives off more of an exquisite vibe from what I noticed. Like, but it still looks great. It's nice and clean, and the patch is right in the center. So I like that. yeah, it looks good. The first initial reaction I had was like, this looks similar to like the exquisite endorsement relics, something like that. But I like it. So they just released the video of the 99s, and they look nice.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that they're encased again this year, or slabbed, however you want to put it. Does that surprise you? Are you happy, upset, or indifferent about that?
Yeah, I think that was like, I was a little bit hesitant. Like, I thought it would do good things for the cup. I think it gets example when you're going into football and basketball and those sort of sports, like you have that on a regular basis for some of those higher end sets. So I think it just solidified the cup as more of a higher end, a premium quality, and you get that slabbed up, authenticated RPA. And now I'm glad they bring it back. I think that's going to be something that they should do every single year now. Just makes it even more quality and higher end feel for the opening.
Haven't heard yet if the Celebrini or any of the other patch swatches in the RPAs will be game used, but maybe we'll find out in the next couple days or so. Are you hoping that that's the case again this year?
Yeah, that would be huge. As long as the key guys, so like dating back to Crosby, Ovechkin, when you talk about like the top names that hold the most value in the industry, their game used, dating back to the cup. So that'll be exciting and big news to hear. I think it should be just like the way it's releasing in December. I'm hoping those big guys are, but we'll see. That'll be pretty important to see what ones are game used and what ones are not.
Mm-hmm. One of the early comments we got on the checklist was that because there's no exquisite limited logos tribute this year, I think there's a couple updates in there, but really the limited logos for 24-25 are specific to the cup, and there isn't that, like I said, exquisite pairing to that. What do you think about that? Is that some people were, I guess limited logos people were maybe a little bit disappointed about that?
See, I don't mind that. Like, and same thing with the legends, right? Like, this is a strong year of cup, and it's worked out like how Celebrini has been playing. It worked out to the benefit of the product release. But I feel like overdoing it with the tribute designs. Like, I feel like we have to be very careful with those sort of sets and those sort of releases every couple of years. You don't want to overdo it. I mean, they're very valuable tributes that a whole group of collectors chase after. But if you put too much out there, it's almost like you keep watering it down. And same thing, like we're seeing the 0304 exquisite tribute set coming in the black design this year. Like that's, to me, like that's the tribute set to chase after. There's no need to have the exquisite limited logos as well. So I like the choice on that. Also, even from the legends part, like not overdoing it with legends. Like it's good to have a year like this where there's not a ton of legends, but you have like such a solidified rookie crop to keep the product in high demand. And also for the limited logo set, I was just looking at the checklist. There's some sweet legends with all-star jerseys. I'm super excited about that. Like, it's been a while since we've seen all-star limited logos, especially for some legends and vets. So that's going to be really cool to chase after those ones. A vintage all-star patch. There's nothing that beats that.
Yeah, I think there's 3 from what I can see. There's Ray Bork is one of them, and then Rob Blake and Rick Nash. So,
yeah, not the craziest names, but still, even to get those all-star patches, I'm excited about that when I saw that.
Honorable numbers is back to the jersey number, not some stat or interesting anecdote related to the player's career. Are you happy about that? Will that make those fans pleased, do you think?
Yeah, I did not like that change. That's one of my favorite sets every year. Like, you date all the way back from 05-06. It's something that definitely should not have been changed. And the big one there is Connor Bedard's got an update rookie honorable numbers. Like, that's insane. Like, was not expecting that when I was looking at the checklist. So that's another huge card to hunt after in that set.
Now, you're a big Shield guy. Like, that's your personal collection. And I know you know a lot of people that are into Shields as well. When you took a gander at who's on the checklist, maybe who isn't, were you happy? Were you disappointed?
Yeah. So I was going to do some bounties this year for public bounties, and I still might. I'm debating it. Again, for what I truly collect and what I feel I could place the highest bounty out there is on the Hall of Famer shields, which there's only one this year. There's one singular one. It is Mark Messier. Same thing for the Monumental set. There's only Mark Messier in the Legend set for Monumentals. But like I said, you don't need to overdo it if you're Upper Deck. Like producing these once every 2 years or 3 years. Like, I mean, like in an ideal situation, we get 3 or 4 Legends per year and not overdo it with like 8 in one. But again, anytime that they don't have them on the checklist, it just makes the other ones more rare and more sought after. So it builds up hype for the next time that they do put those in there. So I'm never like super upset with it, although I would love to chase after them. There are some great, obviously, shields. All the new current guys have the shields, the rookies. And then they got a big dual shield on there. Another one, they're doing Crosby and McDavid again. So that's another like top grail card to chase after from that end. And even the Monumentals, the Puck Monumentals, excited to see how those look. They're changing it up on that. They got a good names on there. So yeah, it should be a fun hunt.
One thing that I was thinking of is, so if they were able to get in Bedard's RPA's game used jersey pieces, well, that means they have a game used jersey. That means they have a game used shield. So for the players that they're able to get game used material in the RPA, don't you think it would be smart to make that rookie shield auto game used as well? I mean, isn't that one more way to elevate this set?
100%. That's why I've said this a few times on my channel, and I continue to say it. Like, until they do that, the second year cards are very important as well, because those are going to be the rookie jerseys that they're using on those materials from the Cup and the other sets. So as a shield collector, I value second year cards very, very highly until they make that change. Like, that is going to be the one big change that I think spans into multiple different sports, because even if you look at like basketball and football, they don't have game used rookie shields. So that's something that Upper Deck could do. That is like the only company that is producing that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now other companies are starting to do like the MLB first debut patches, and that's sort of their spin-off on that. And I think if Upper Deck can do that for the shields, it makes it even bigger.
In your mind, will the Gretzky Exquisite Tribute Black 101, is that the product hit? Or will like a Celebrini shield or something like that be? Yeah, like it's hard to say because that set is so collected. But the thing that they did with releasing the preview of the oil drop, like versus the glove,
that was actually the case. 100%, that's the product hit. But yeah, it's going to be a piece of the glove or some equipment. And like from my experience dealing with a lot of Gretzky cards, it doesn't get the same love. Like, it's almost like if it was an all-star patch and an all-star uniform, that would do better than the Oilers, but then having a piece of the glove. Like, the Oilers is a cool part, but when you then branch off from the actual game used jersey patch, it hurts the value a lot. So that's still going to be like one of the top pulls. I would say it's in the top 5. But for me, like the Celebrini rookie shield autograph, just like the Bedard that we pulled last year, like the Bedard alone is, if I had to guess now, the way he's been playing, I think it's a $300,000 to $400,000 card. I think Celebrini's in that same ballpark. Like, I think this is going to be a crazy, crazy card to chase after.
Well, it's been the month of Celebrini, and the kid couldn't have played it better. And what you alluded to is what I wanted to bring up next, is that when 23-24, the Cup came out, was in June, which was after the season. And season 2 wasn't horrible for Bedard, but it really wasn't good either. I mean, it was a little bit disappointing. I mean, I think that's the only way you could look at it. And he's very thankfully and awesomely come out and played ridiculous this year, which is awesome for the hobby, whether you love Bedard or not. The difference in this week with 24-25, the Cup coming out, is it's during the season, and Celebrini, as crazy as it sounds, like we were looking on our show on Thursday, he's like 4th in Vegas odds for the Hart Trophy right now in his second year. And you almost couldn't even script it a better start to the year for Celebrini. And so I wonder if the chase and the demand for this product this week will be more so than we've seen in a very, very long time.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Like it's the factor of what you just said, and also leading up to Olympics, if he makes the Olympic team, like his market right now, we're seeing sales that absolutely crush some of the Bedard sales. And again, San Jose is not as big of a market, but the way he's been playing and leading into the season, the hype is there. And I think a lot of collectors, aside from even hockey guys, are going to be focusing their attention. They're going to see some of these sales that come out the gate on this product, and it's going to be pretty nuts. Like Bedard year was already, like, by the second week, the product went up like $600-700 a box, and like I think it's going to be the same thing now. One thing I will say for hockey is there's going to be a ceiling, because as big as those Celebrini cards are going to be, we don't have like the sustained value in a Crosby patch autograph, which at a certain point the box becomes more than one of the best Crosby cards that you can pull from the product. So there's some sort of sanity there. How much Celebrini can carry it, I don't know. But from the hockey side of things, like in basketball and football, you could pull like a LeBron or a Tom Brady card that's worth tens of thousands of dollars, and it doesn't have to be a 1-on-1 shield. But from hockey, you pull a nice patch autograph of Gretzky even, or Crosby, you're talking a few thousand only. It's going to cover the box only. So we'll see where the market goes, but hoping it stays relatively realistic. But I don't know. I'm going to temper my expectations, because I know same thing last year, and I'm expecting it this year. Like for our release day breaks, for the release week and the week after, when we go to reorder it, the price is already higher than what we were breaking it at. It's crazy. So.
Yeah, so I guess what you'll find out a few days after release day, when you're low on supply and you need to go back and get it. And who knows what will happen over the next 5, 10, 15 years, of course. But to some degree, I think that the fact that you had both Crosby and Ovechkin come into the league together and both be all-time talents helps both of them, right? It helps the hobby. It helps the sport, not just to have one mega star to marvel at their career, to have two. And again, we're still really early, but the idea of now maybe Celebrini and Bedard following their careers, and you still have McDavid, of course, too, and some other great players in between for the next 10 to 15 years. That's kind of exciting, and it makes you think that if everything works out, that our hobby could be in a pretty good place.
Yeah, so it seems like from when I started collecting, like I came in after the Crosby Ovechkin year. I have never seen a year like this where the prospecting that is going on for hockey seems to be at an all-time high, and it's beyond just Celebrini and Bedard. Like we have guys like Gauthier and Carlson and even Wallstedt this week. Like Wallsted's doubled in price in a week and a half. Like, and in the Cutters and the Carlsons, there's been like 5 or 6 top rookies that not have just gone up 10-20%. They've doubled in price if you had any of their stock. We're talking like such a crazy increase. So the hockey prospecting side right now is better than I've ever seen it for all the years I've collected, and it's super exciting to see. And it's fun, like people can get in on their players, and they have so much upside. And if they do well, it shows that the increase will be there and it pays off.
What's this like week for you as a hockey card breaker? Is it different? Is it more work? Is it intense? That sort of thing?
Yeah, it's like I'm trying. We have the show this weekend, so like probably I booked this trip a while ago, but like hindsight 2020, if I knew this Cup week, I got a whole bunch of content that I'm trying to get out myself for the YouTube channel, and then prepping and again pricing the breaks and looking at the checklist takes a long time. That's gonna what I'm gonna be doing for the next 2 days in between the show here. So got to work on that, and then the big release day. I mean, there's no other release that's even remotely close. Super excited for it. Very fun one, which is why I'm like super excited. But gonna be a lot of Cup, and yeah, it's gonna be a fun one.
What does your schedule look like? So obviously people can go to gpsportcards.com. That's where your spots are typically available. But do you plan to go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and beyond, or what is it going to look like this week?
Yeah, so Cups, again, it's an interesting one where we only have the amount that we were allocated, and it's not even enough to go beyond the first week. So we will probably go all out like we did last year on the Wednesday of the release. That's when we're going to have 10, 20 plus cases on that night. We're going to have all different formats, player select, player random, team random, all that fun stuff will be on the release night. We'll see how many cases we get through on release day. So we'll be streaming probably right from like 1 o'clock all the way through to the end of the night. So that's going to be our big day, the release day. And then we'll be back on Friday. We take Thursdays off. So Wednesdays and Fridays are when we break. So Friday will be the same thing though. Like it's going to be all cup. Again, I'm one of those like ones where I just want to, someone must have just pulled a really big card.
Cool.
I'm like, we're the breakers there. It's like our allocation cost. We're going to go through that. Even if the reorder is above what we added at and what we're lining our breaks at, I'm trying to put on like a show and give back to like our customers that know us for the cup. And so we're going to go all out and as big as we can for this week.
Okay. So if I'm reading between the lines, then you want to be, to get the best price, you're going to want to be probably early and get in those first few days of breaks because, you know, that basically your cost will likely be lower for those. And when you have to go out and rebuy, am I correct in saying that?
Yeah. I've heard some rumors and things. It's going to be an expensive reorder. And just like predicting what that's going to be at, it's going to be higher than what we're lining our breaks on the first week at. So, yeah, for those wanting to get in, first week is the big week. We might even have a bit extra to trickle in the week 2, but then once you get into like week 3, 100%, it's going to be at a price where you contemplate lining it. Like even myself, like I don't love to change my price as much on my breaks. Like what I release it at release week, if the product outgrows that price point, I don't see the value in it, and I don't want to line it at that brace. So if it goes up 30%, the product, then we can't even break it. So same thing with cup, whereas 23, 24 kind of hit that price point where it just didn't make sense to open up for the ROI. Now, the one thing that's huge is release week is very important for those who are opening up the new product. The value of your cards on release week and the week after are going to be much bigger than a month or two. So it's weird how it works is as time progresses, the hits from the product start to lose the hype and the value of them don't go as high, but then the product starts to grow and go higher. So it's that fine balance where you do get to a point where eventually you can't break the product anymore because it's dried up so fast, and then the ROI just doesn't make sense. So yeah, first week is definitely the week to get in.
I'm more of a flagship guy. That's been typically more my budget. And so like one of the things that we've talked about on our show for a long time is there's certain cards like in flagship when you hit release week, like if you hit a base Young Guns, like sell it immediately, even if you love the player, because they're so abundant and no matter almost under 99.9% of the time, you'll get it 40% cheaper. 2 months later, you'll be able to buy 2 of them for what you sold the first one for release week. That's typically how that goes. How does it work with the cup? Is it similar? Are there certain cards that I mean, obviously if you hit like a product hit and you want to keep it in your PC, don't sell that. But what are the cards that, if it's a good card, but maybe a player you don't love that you hit opening a box or you hit in a break, one of your breaks where it just makes so much, the best selling time is right away?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I would say, again, anytime you pull a 1 of 1 or something super unique, you sort of get to set your price or get to decide what you want to do with that. Like the value of that isn't going to fluctuate from other cards selling. And that's what a good line basis is. For a Young Gun card example, like you're going to have 50, 100 of those ending every single week. So it's going to be so up and down. And as time progresses and that card is less popular and less hyped up, it's going to slowly trickle down regardless of the player's play. Now, if we're talking about guys like Bedard and Celebrini, they're the superstars. They're the top hype up. So you can hold players like that and you are pretty much looking at how they're going to do. And if they do well, that card's going to go up. But for a majority of the players that aren't as popular, the top guys, example, a lot of the 249 RPAs, first week, those are going to hit record high sales. And then from there on, they're going to slowly trickle down. So I would say if you got any like the top rookies, but a good example is like Luke Hughes. Like this is one that I auctioned a few this week on Slab Sharks. So Luke Hughes, great player, doing well. His first week of sales, for example, the two cards that come to my mind, I just auctioned the button auto out of 3 and the tag auto out of 4. The button auto and the tag auto, the sales were between 1,400 and 1,600 on the release week or release month of the release. I just put it up for auction and it sold for $600 each, like $650. So
because
that's a player
the shiny new toy thing is worn off with him a little
exactly.
bit.
So, and that's one of the 99 rookies of that year that just didn't hold the value that because it was based off hype. Now the true 99 rookie of Luke Hughes has held more value because that's a true rookie and more people are sought after it. And maybe they want to do all the 99 rookies or a set. But the out of 4 and out of 3, that's a certain collector who's searching for that card on the release month. And then after that, slowly the hype dies down.
Okay, I have a Celebrini RPA scenario, and you tell me if you think this makes sense. So let's say you pull a Celebrini RPA, and if I pull like a 1 color or like a pretty lame 2 color patch, I'm going to sell it right away because I want that to, because whatever the first cards that go, like let's say I open it on release day, the hype is going to be so high just to get one of those that I think you'll get a great price. Versus if I pull like a 4 color, like great part of the chess logo, or 5, I mean, I don't know, who knows how many colors are in San Jose's patch, but probably 4 at the most. I don't want to sell that right away because I want those 1 color patches to go really high. And then even if I do intend to sell that card, then I want the more intricate patch, the better patch to come after those sales so that people can look at those previous comps and recognize that, oh, my card here that is up for sale is a way better patch. And therefore it should go for more. Is that a strategy that makes sense to you?
Yeah, for sure. That's just like speaking onto the side of uniqueness. So when you get a logo patch, something like that differentiates it from the 2 colors, the 1 colors, the 3 colors. So if you get something like that, for sure. And now like even Bedard and Macklin, like I can't even speak to that extent because when everyone was pulling the Bedard RPAs right at the beginning, like I was telling them like, hey, like you got to sell these right away. Now to see what he's done afterwards is why his value has gone up. So if you look back at those first 2 sales, well, he's played out of his mind. And who would have thought that he's going to be a top 3, top 4 point leader in the league right now? So those are sustaining that value because of that. And now there was ride or dies with Bedard that believed in that and went out guns and blazing and bought all these Bedards and they're way up right now. But I always lean on the side of caution, especially when you're prospecting. Now what they've done is they've proven themselves. So it's a little bit different now. But when Bedard first came out, he had that rough season and there was speculation whether he's going to go up or go down. Like we saw the Ultimate Shield sell for 70,000 Canadian, right? Like what is that card worth now? It's crazy to think. So there's a time and a place. I always lean on the side of caution. But I would hold something like a logo patch like that Celebrini, wait for a few of the 2 colors, and then you could almost get like a double the price or a 60% premium because of that patch.
Well, but that goes back to the nature of prospecting though, right? And why it's so wild. And you have to be an adrenaline junkie almost to like it, because I think it was just as likely that coming into the year that Bedard would have had at this point 4 or 5 goals and 14 points as well as he's done, right? And in that scenario, it would have been very, very smart in retrospect to sell those right away. And that's why like certain people, and I think you fall in this camp, and I personally fall in the camp of I don't have to worry about Mario Lemieux stinking.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
right.
Even guys like, again, like I always try to compare it because I started collecting in the era of like 2008, 2010. So I look at guys like Steven Stamkos and the career that they've had, and I just compare what that RPA of 99 of Stamkos goes for in comparison to, a new guy like a Cutter Gauthier, right? Like, are their careers going to match up at the end? So that's always the mindset that I have when I look at these values for these players. Of course, times have changed. Like, and the biggest thing when you see guys say that, oh, these players are undervalued or these players are selling for too much, new collectors want what they're watching on today's hockey. So Cutter Gauthier right now is leading the way. Steven Stamkos, again, a player who's had an amazing career, but his rookie cards aren't coming out right now. So again, with that new hype and collectors wanting to go after a player, they're seeing Cutter Gautier's cards come out, and that's who they're collecting. So that's why you see the big difference in values.
Okay, when will the Wednesday Cup release day breaks be posted to your website?
So there'll be it'll be 3 different waves, actually 4 different waves. It'll be Saturday, Sunday, which will already be posted up by the time this airs. Monday will be coming up. So Monday and Tuesday will be wave number 3 and 4. So I believe those are the waves of the player random and the player select. So the biggest breaks, those are going to be like 5 casers combined into one break. So those will be the biggest breaks that we're releasing, and that'll be coming out on Monday. So
I hope you either got your spots if you're listening, or go right now and check out and see what's available again at gpsportcards.com. Well, I hope you have fun this week. Thank you for taking time in your busy Edmonton schedule. And is there snowstorms there, like in Minnesota here?
Luke actually captured a picture of me coming out of the airport, not looking the best. I was freezing and rushing to the car, and it just shows we went from 2 degrees in Toronto to now -10 here with snow. So it's a little bit of a change up, I'm sure you can feel. So yeah, it's we're adapting. We'll see.
All right, Grant. Well, thank you again for taking the time. Have a good time in Edmonton, and we'll chat with you soon.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it.
Thank you again to Grant for joining the show. A lot of great thoughts and insights into the upcoming Cup release. And remember to get your spots at gpsportcards.com.
He loves this product and knows way too much about it.
Of course.
Yeah. He's a museum. It's a museum of an encyclopedia in his head about the Cup.
Mm-hmm.
We need him. He's young. In 20 years, when we're losing our minds, we got to reference and we got to call Grant.
No,
100%. Hobby news.
Hobby news.
It's been a minute and haven't done this in a while, so I thought it would be good for us to check in on our index. We have like an official index in Cardlander, so the Gongshow 100, and the market's hot. So I thought, I wonder if our index is doing well. And I have to be honest too about these Cardlander indexes. They're not like the most on top of things for hockey. So like when you look at we love Cardlander. This is one of probably the single most used sports cards application for me anyways. I use it all the time. But their hockey index, their regular hockey index, is really out of date. It's not, for instance, there's no Macklin Celebrini cards in there. They haven't gotten to that yet. So pretty hard to judge the current state of the hockey market without factoring in any of the 24, 25 rookies. And then, of course, there's no Demidov or any of the 25, 26, Matthew Schaefer, anyone like that either. But we do have the Gongshow 100, and spoiler alert, there's no Macklin Celebrini in that either, but there's kind of not supposed to be. And so what the idea behind the Gongshow 100 was to kind of give like, how do we get at least one solid indication of the overall health of the hobby? And it's kind of a blue chip tracker, meaning it doesn't factor in a lot of prospects. It's like the standbys, the most iconic cards in our hobby, where we can look at the value of those cards over time and get, maybe it's a good indication more of the stability of the market. It's not going to be as susceptible to the wild ups and downs that you get with prospecting. So with that being said, here's a look at how the Gongshow 100 has performed lately. Over the last month, it's basically flat. I think it's like down or just up like 1.46%. The past 3 months, I think it's up about 3%. And then over the past year, though, it's down 16% overall.
How's that
seems
possible?
Kind of weird.
Yeah, that
Well, I'll kind of go through it a little bit. And when you go into the details, so the Gongshow 100 is 100 cards that we painstakingly picked out. Took months to.
You painstakingly.
Yeah, I did that. And when you look at the 100 cards over the past year and how they factor into that negative 16%, 31 out of the 100 cards are down in value and 48 of the 100 are up in value. So again, it seems like, how is it down 16%? A lot of cards that have had traditionally real big values in the hobby have slipped a little bit. And that's, I think, drug the overall index down. So like The card that's down the most is the 2015 The Cup McDavid RPA BGS 910. Now we chose this card because it's an iconic hobby card and it's got a pop 44, so it's going to have enough sales within a year and there was a huge sale in like December of 2024, and so it's down 47% in the past year. And this is a six-figure-ish type, was a six-figure card. And so I mean that's a factor. Some other big cards that have been down, and a lot of these make sense, honestly, Phil, and you tell me if you agree or disagree, but AM34 Young Guns is down 16%. Ovechkin Future Watch Auto really spiked. We know this doing our top 5 sales every week when he hit the goals record, and I think they're just kind of naturally coming down. I don't think it's an indication of the market is bad. It's just they weren't going to stay at that inflated rate forever. Then you have Jack Hughes,
that's concerning. That one's concerning right there. The Jack Hughes Future Watch. I would compare like 4 other Future Watch autos. They're not the Foies aren't top of mind as much.
Well, I want to stick a pin in that because I actually have a question written down about this, but he can't stay healthy. You know, I think that's going to affect his market, but the overall Future Watches, where even like Crosby and McDavid have been down over the past year. And it kind of got me thinking as I was going through this, and I feel this a little bit myself, where I kind of feel like the Future Watch Auto is losing a little bit of its luster for me. And I was curious if you guys thought the same.
Oh, absolutely. I said it. I'm trying to get rid of that word. Yes, I concur. I have never been a huge fan of Future Watch autos. I much prefer a Future Watch patch auto or FWAP. I don't know, man. There's 1,000 of them. I'd rather an Ultimate Rookies out of $399. I'm trying to buy a Crosby instead of I have no interest in a Sidney Crosby Future Watch auto. I've none. I really want an Ultimate Rookies because I think it's a nicer card, it has a nicer auto, and it's less than far less
cheaper,
than
right?
half. Way cheaper.
Yeah.
So I listen. I don't want the Future Watch auto to ever lose its significance. I just don't understand why it's always such a rocket ship every year. Well, I do understand why, because it's very highly sought after. It's attainable by the common man for the most part. It's got a lot of good going for it, but it's the only card in that whole darn set that anybody cares about. So, I don't know.
What about you, Louis? As the Future Watch Auto gains significance in your mind, or as you kind of have evolved your experience in collecting, or is it losing a little luster for you?
It honestly hasn't moved much for me from flatlined, because I honestly, if I was going to get one, I'd want the FWAP.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're similar to Phil in that.
And it's isn't a Future Watch auto just a glorified numbered Young Guns with an auto? I guess I'm trashing it pretty bad now.
Well,
that's not what I mean. That's why I gravitated towards the black Future Watch. And when I bought it, I don't even like that. It's a very flat card. There's no depth to it. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
You're just an insert guy like me. You just want to be like me. That's okay. It's about time you admitted it, Phil. Okay, now looking on the positive side, though, I mentioned more cards in the Gongshow 100 are up than down, even though the overall index is down. And the biggest gainers so far in the past year are the Evgeny Malkin Young Guns PSA 10 is up 80% over the past year. Unsurprisingly, the Bedard Young Gun Silver Outburst PSA 10 is up 64%. The Lemieux rookies have had a really strong year, almost top to bottom. The PSA 9s in particular are up quite a bit. Nathan McKinnon Young Guns PSA 10 is up 50%. Well, it should be, because he has been just ridiculous. And Sid has had a great year. His Young Guns is up. So it's interesting that Sid's Future Watch is down, but Young Guns is up. And then, of course, the Bedard Young Guns PSA 10.
I would have not guessed any of that. So everything I just said about the Future Watch, I feel like a moron. I would have thought those would have gone down too. Yeah, it's just a base card. Obviously, they're going to go down. Well, not obvious. See? Don't come to the Gong Show for advice.
Well, maybe there's something going on with the Future Watch, and that's something for us to track. We'll have to see. Well, if you have a Card Ladder subscription, you can check out all the cards in the Gong Show 100 there. But I just wanted to give a quick update.
And you should. If there's any money, so there's 2 things I will spend money on forever and always till I'm dead. The YouTube Premium, I don't do commercials, and the Card Ladder subscription. but that I thank you, Card Ladder, for letting us use it for a discount. That is 5 fingers.
Well, it is December 1st. Happy December, everybody. And I could not let that pass without reflecting a little bit on what I'm calling November, or what I think it'll be always remembered as the month of Macklin. And I've got, well, boys, it's December 1st, and could not let, well, happy December, but as I reflect on November, to me, it really, I think, will be long remembered in this hobby as the month of Macklin. We talked about it a little bit on our last couple of shows, how Celebrini's having his hobby moment, and who knows when it'll end, but it doesn't feel like it's going to stop anytime soon, especially 2 days away from his Rookie the Cup release. And yeah, again, November 2025 in my eyes has been the month of Macklin. So I have a couple things that I wanted to share just looking back. The first are some more numbers, Phil. So, hang on. You love those. But then I found this great article in The Athletic that highlights a whole bunch of quotes from the past month or two about Celebrini from around the league that I think you guys are going to find pretty interesting. So again, very quickly looking back at the hobby numbers for Macklin in November of 2025, and these are mind-blowing, right? He had over 5,000 secondary market sales last month, almost double the sales of October. And if you go back to September, there was just about 2,000 sales. So that's a 150% increase in 2 months.
It's what, 15% of the hobby?
Yeah, it's crazy. 143 sales last month alone, over 1,000 US dollars. To date, there's only been 462 all-time public sales over 1K. 31% of his sales over 1,000 US dollars were last month. His first $1,000 sale was in May of 2024. So that $1,000 sale is over 18 months. So over the last 18 months, 31% of those sales have been in the last month alone. 7 of the top 10 highest Celebrini sales ever were last month. If you expand that to October, it goes to 9 of the top 10 sales have been in October and November.
It's behemoth numbers.
Oh, it's just crazy. But as I mentioned, it's not just the hobby stats. The whole hockey world seems amazed by the young Celebrini. So here's where we get into the quotes. And I had to start with Phil's guy. So on their new podcast, the Tkachuk brothers, they talked about their favorite players to watch in the NHL right now. And here's what Brady T had to say. For forwards, it's Macklin Celebrini. The Ottawa Senators captain said, echoing a sentiment that has reverberated through the hockey world this fall. He's an unreal player. The Athletic got a quote from 1 million people, and one of them was from a scout that all these scouts didn't want to be named, but a scout with 20 years experience. He said, Celebrini is 87. Love that kid, which is obviously some incredibly high praise. Another Western Conference scout had this to say about Macklin. He's awesome. He's such a well-rounded player who plays both ends. He works away from the puck too, which you don't always expect from someone that young and skilled. Now, with all these comparisons, even Crosby has chimed in about Macklin Celebrini. Sid had to say he's an incredible player. Just his all-around game at his age is pretty impressive. He's committed defensively. He competes hard. He's got a pretty mature game for his age. Now, they had to go with another Halifax native and get some quotes from Nathan McKinnon, who leads the league in scoring, who had this to say about Celebrini. He's miles ahead of where I was at 18, mentally.
Wow.
Even NBA players are chiming in about the young Celebrini. So the Golden State Warriors, Draymond Green, who does have a connection to Macklin because it's well known that Rick Celebrini, Macklin's father, is an executive with the team, but Draymond had this to say about the young Celebrini. His brain is as good, if not better, than his skill set, and his skill set is one of the best in the league already. I am impressed by him, to say the least, and I'm looking forward to watching him chase greatness. When you're being compared to the greats at 18, man, LeBron James was compared to the greats at 18, and he outlived it. Mac has that thing. Now, here's the thing, though. Think about how important this is. I get it. There's a family connection, and you might love basketball, you might hate basketball, and of course, Draymond is Draymond. But think of the last time we had an NBA player in a press conference chiming in about an NHL star. And it just shows you the crossover appeal and the transcendent appeal. We haven't talked about that in a long time, but that's one of the, and I'm not making the typical McDavid joke here. This is in all earnesty, and I think it's just the truth, that as amazing as McDavid is, even as amazing as Nathan McKinnon is, they're not transcendent athletes. To be a transcendent athlete, you have to generate appeal outside of just the most passionate hockey fans, where the casual sports fan or not even the sports fan could have some sort of recognition of who you are and your name. And I'm not saying one Draymond quote gives Celebrini transcendency, but it does point to that being a possibility. And so to me, that's significant.
Draymond.
So he's got to be, Macklin has to, you just hope his off-ice routine is very boring and very structured and disciplined. He'll have the career of 87. Well, okay, let's not make outrageous statements, but he'd have a chance to have the potential to have a career that 87 would if he does those off-ice. Maybe even better, right? Like Sidney kind of came into the league when guys were still drinking beer and kind of getting tuned up the night before, a little bit, and I don't think Sidney was doing that much. So
yeah,
when he came into the league, he was crappy at faceoffs his very first year. What did he do all summer? Faceoffs.
Practice faceoffs. Well, even like Bedard, where you have to give Bedard a lot of credit, he got knocked about his skating and faceoffs too, and he made giant strides over the summer in those areas, and that's exactly what you'd want to see out of a superstar.
Because if they don't, someone else will, right? I love the quote, hard work beats talent every day. I mean, for the most part, yes, obviously there's certain things, no, but that is very true in this situation. And if Macklin can up his hard work game like everybody else, the kid's he'll pull away from the pack.
Well, I've got more quotes. I was about halfway through, right?
Oh, sorry, buddy.
The whole world is chiming in on Macklin South, the whole hockey world. So Bruins forward Fraser Minton, who grew up playing with Macklin apparently since they were 7 years old, had this to say: "I've seen it since he was 7 years old, playing against my little brother and scoring 5 goals every game. I'm not really surprised, to be honest. He's such a stud. He works super hard, super competitive guy too. So he doesn't really have any holes in his game with all the skill set he has. It makes for, like people have been saying, the kind of Crosby-like player. He's got it all. Super competitive, good kid. The world is his oyster right now." We talked about Kent Johnson earlier, who apparently works out with Celebrini in the offseason. He had this to say about Macklin's game: "It's insane just how strong and good he is with his stick. He's really good at everything. I could rave about everything about his game pretty much." The Athletic also got a quote from a former Canadian Team Canada Olympics player who didn't want to be mentioned, and asked him about the possibility of Macklin making the Team Canada team for the upcoming Olympics. And here's what the player had to say: "They have to take him. He could penalty kill if you need. He could play the fourth line, or he could play with Sid." Now that's high praise, because you said earlier about some of these young studs not being great. Like Logan Cooley, you mentioned, would he be a good fourth line candidate? Well, in this opinion of a former Team Canada player, that I guess Macklin could do that. And then I have one last quote from Sharks legend and new Hockey Hall of Famer Jumbo Joe Thornton, who had this to say. He said, "Oh, F word. He's just good. He's that good. He's just so competitive. He's just strong. He's motivated. He's just got everything. I'll be honest with you. He's a full 200-foot player." Pretty nuts when you see all the praise that is coming. It made me think, like, who's the last player that was getting this type of flowers thrown at him? Was it McDavid maybe back when he started? Or I don't know.
That's a good question, Josh. Who has been universally praised? Maybe Kessel? Phil Kessel? For different reasons?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and here's again the thing, and I had to look this up, and it hit me again, even though I think we kind of already know this. Macklin is 19. He doesn't turn 20 till next June.
He's a baby, man. He's a little baby. He's younger than your son. He's younger than both of your sons. He's older than mine, but both of yours. Isn't that crazy?
I mean,
Don't think about that.
Think
Don't
how good he'll
think
be
about that.
2-3 years from now if he keeps progressing, where he grows into his body and gets more maturity and experience and gets stronger and all those things that happen to young players when they become professional athletes.
When you look at, like my Timmy Stutzel, he's 25, 24 now, and he's got that man body. But when he came into the league, a little baby body, right? Little guy.
He's a baby.
You know, if Macklin gets that big, thick chest, starts filling in, starts beefing up those thighs like Crosby styles, I mean, that'd be pretty hard. Yeah, man, watch out. Watch out. It's going to be great. Next 20 years of hockey is going to be fantastic for all of us old farts.
Yes, it's exciting.
Okay, so I had to add a story about, and I'm going a little homer here, but Phil, you tell me if I'm onto something or on something here. So on Friday night, our Minnesota Wild beat the league-leading Colorado Avalanche in a 3-2 shutout. It happened to snap a 10-game win streak for the Avs, who've been on a total heater all year, basically, and was another great start for the young Minnesota goaltender Jesper Wallstedt, who's been on quite the heater himself in the month of November, completely standing on his head. I think I featured him last week in Who's Hot. Well, Jesper improved with the win to 7-0-2 on the season. Now has the longest point streak to open a season in Minnesota Wild history. And we've talked about on the show how much Wallstedt struggled last year. He was for 3 years, the top NHL goalie prospect in the league and was awful last year. And it really wrecked his confidence and he was in a bad spot. So as he's rebounded this year and I think refound his love and joy for the game, he started to gain a little attention for his celebration. In particular, the Wild have been in like shootouts galore, and I don't know how you describe it. It's like a one knee fist pump / like javelin throw kind of. It's really cool when he does it. Right, he skates out in a big moment, and I think it's awesome. And by the way, too, it's nothing more excessive than any like top line, one of these young forwards, one of their celebrations after scoring a goal either. But not so fun if you're part of the Avalanche radio broadcast team. Oh no.
What happened?
No. Offense was taken.
Oh, Jesus.
So Wallstedt sealed the shootout win by stopping the anointed, the immaculate baby Bobby Orr. And he did his thing, like his little celebration when the Wild won. He stopped Cale Makar, and that was what the Wild needed to win. That right, does the little thing. Well, as the Avalanche radio broadcast team is doing the play-by-play and they announce the game is over, they have this to say about the young Jesper Wallstedt. He celebrates like he won the Stanley Cup. He is not.
I know.
Basically throwing shade for him. And I love Michael Russo. I really want to have him. In the next year, I want to get him on the show. I think he's one of the best beat writers in the NHL. He leads the NHL coverage for The Athletic, which is, in the United States is pretty important for hockey coverage. Well, he clapped back on Twitter to the Avs broadcasting team saying this: imagine throwing shade at a rookie goalie showing emotion after stopping the best defenseman in the world to cap a brilliant performance in a sensational hockey game. And
accurate. Well said.
He didn't even bust that move out the first time, just the other night. He's done it.
No, he's been doing it like the last month or so good point, Louis. And so this situation to me is just case in point to what we've talked about. And I think a key issue that, again, has prevented the game we love from growing and becoming more mainstream. It's that old school mentality that no player can ever stand out above the team. The name on the front of the jersey is more important than the name on the back. I get that whole sentiment. And but the reality in 2025 is individual athletes and their personalities drive more interest in sports than teams do. And I think I've said this before. There's been some really interesting studies done about at the NBA, how people follow the players more so than the team. And there was some, like when Luka Doncic got traded from the Dallas Mavericks to the Los Angeles Lakers and really incensed the Dallas fans who did not agree with the trade at all, that a huge percentage of them just started cheering for Luka in LA and it kind of signaled that, that the player in from a marketing perspective, at least, and from a fan attachment perspective, can be more important with the team. And again, some people are going to be upset by that, right? Are not going to like that, but it's just true. And it's important for growing, for growing the sports. And so my point is, if we don't allow these athletes to show any personality, which helps us fans connect with them, gives us a reason to root for them or cheer or root against them, become the hero, the villain, the baby face, or the heel, however you want to put it, the game won't grow, period. If you don't want Jesper to do his celebration, then beat him and score a goal. It happened in baseball, and I've referenced this before too, right? When Bryce Harper and all these Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Ronald Acuna and Fernando Tatis Jr., when they started like wearing jewelry and kind of posing after home runs, the old timers were just incensed, right? How can you show up the pitcher? It's like, well, if you don't want him to celebrate a little bit, then don't give up a home run. Beat him. Why? It's just so old and fuddy-duddy to me that it drives me crazy. And in the case of Jesper, like if you go and look at his celebrations, he's not doing anything to show up the other team. He's excited. He just helped his team win a game and get 2 points in a shootout. And it's very in the moment. It's very, you can just feel the energy in his body. And I think as big of an issue as Gary Bettman not getting marketing in general, this old school mentality continues to hold the game back, and the ridiculous take, in my opinion, of the Colorado Avalanche radio broadcast people is just an example of that.
It wasn't Mark Moser, I thought, because he's their he's
sure.
a pretty fun guy. Yeah, he's been there for like 30 years, so it's probably the radio.
Yeah,
it's silly. I really don't think there's no defense. You don't need to defend Jesper here. I mean, people don't like it when people get happy. They don't like it. They really don't. And I don't think it's even that deep. He's just a hardcore Colorado fan who was emotional at the same time and made a comment of slight towards that. I really think if you asked him today, he'd be like, yeah, it was silly. I don't think he actually cares. But I do think the mentality that you spoke of exists very strongly behind closed doors. The good old boys club, the you can't change the fabric of the game. What are you, nuts? Like, well, I think there should be steroids in all sports. That would make it a lot more entertaining, wouldn't it?
Well,
Right?
you just can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't hold on so tightly to that mentality. And I understand the merits of it too. It's like in a perfect world, I get it, right? Where the team is more important than the individual, and there's a romance to that. But then you can't, in the next breath, complain that why isn't hockey more popular? Because it's
Good
connected.
points. Good points. There is a changing of the old guard coming in all aspects of society. There is a very archaic, stale, dusty kind of way of thinking all around us creeping, and I think give it 10 years. So the NHL will look very different in 10 years. I believe that.
I will point out too, it is really fun in any walk when there's like beat writer like smack talk going on, like on Twitter and other social media, when you have like the Wild media crew like going at it with the Avalanche media crew. That's pretty funny.
Awesome.
In any
I
case.
love it. I love it. Sports teams. That's what sports is about. It's great. No one's dying. Just have fun. Throw crap at the other team. They're throwing crap at you.
And then Jesper Wallstedt is a 24-25 Young Guns, PSA 10 pop 168, 36% gem rate. Last sold for $155 US on November 29th. And it's basically 3x since the beginning of November. It was like a $45 card a month ago. So he's having a mini moment, we'll call it. Not quite a celebrity. I didn't find a page of 400 quotes from every legendary player about him, but just wanted to throw that in there. Phil, you have a story to contribute. The intrepid hockey card journalist, Philip Marsh.
Yeah. I just wanted to point out some things that were a little obvious and taking shape in our beautiful National Hockey League. So forget about the playoffs for a little bit. I think the real test here is we're in the first third of the 82 game regular season grind. And I think this is the part that is, I know everyone says, oh, the month of November is very important. Every month, every game, they're all important. But what I want to talk about is the marathon that chews up a lot of teams, that is the regular season, and spits them out. And where the winners permanently separate themselves is from the losers. So, what heavyweights are pulling away? I couldn't believe it the other day. And I was checking out some stats and looking every day I wake up, look at the standings, and slowly but surely, the teams that are expected to win are doing it with authority right now. They're not just winning. As my boy Louis said, they're destroying teams quietly and putting up metrics that scream they're a championship machine in the making. So we got Colorado right now, right? 18-1 and 6, 42 points. Best team in the league. They're 8 points better than their pace from last year. So at this point last year, they have 8 more points. They have a plus 48 goal differential. That's insane at this time of the year. We're not even in December. Well, we are if you're listening to this today. 18 regulation wins is the top in the league. They're not losing many games. They don't let a lot of games slip in overtime. They shut the barn door. Then we have Dallas, 16-5-4.
Wait, can I ask you a question about Avalanche? And I've asked this similar before, but I have to keep asking it because I love to think about it. I think it's not an easy question, but
oh boy,
you have a 7-game playoff series starting today.
Yeah.
Who are you taking first, McKinnon or McDavid for your team?
McKinnon. Yeah, McKinnon. I'll take his whole line. I mean, Lehkonen and I forget who else.
I do believe the argument. I know he's not had a better career. He's not a more skilled or talented player. And again, this is not trying to make like a funny McDavid thing, but I think right now you can make the argument he's a better player than Connor McDavid. I don't know how long that'll last. I don't.
Do you want to know why I think so? He's in a better place. Now, I don't mean,
maybe.
Obviously he's on the Avalanche. I just mean mentally, clarity. He's gelling. McDavid's kind of like a rusty. Oh, people are going to take that wrong. I don't mean his play, but he's struggling. They're angry at practice. They're not gelling, you know? Forget even winning a Stanley Cup. Are they going to make the playoffs? Forget, do they need a goalie? Do they have a defense? It's regressed. And McKinnon's a good old Canadian boy, man. Bring it back home to Canada. I know he's on Colorado, but.
Oh, and McKinnon had his periods of struggle too, going back a few years ago, and there's a lot of questions about him. Who are you taking, Louis, today to play in a 7-game series?
Simple. I'm taking McKinnon because he's got a cup.
Oh boy. All right.
Okay.
So my next team, Dallas Stars, they're 3 points ahead of their pace from last year. They're securing their spot in the strongest team in the Central, that's for sure. They have a 32% power play. That means they score on almost 1 out of every 3 chances. Do you realize what that, that's insane. It's truly incredible how great these big teams are doing. They're excellent on the road, 9-1-3 away record. They can win tough games anywhere. Then we have Tampa.
Okay, sorry, I have a question about Dallas now.
Okay.
Do you trust them more in the regular season than you do the postseason? I feel like I do.
It's confusing. I don't understand. I really do like Dallas.
Oh, their roster's crazy.
Yeah, they're an all-star team. They have a complete and utter all-star team, and they don't seem to. I mean, either they'll get knocked out of the first round or not, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
I don't know. Ranton. I mean, Tyler Seguin is still playing crazy hockey. I constantly forget he's in the league all the time. Maverick Bourque, coolest name in the NHL. I have no idea if he's even having a good year. I don't even know who their third line center is.
Stupid.
But J-Rob, Ben, Rantanen, Johnston, they're
Terrible
good, man.
city.
What's that, Louis?
Terrible city.
Yeah. I'd love to go to Dallas. I want to go to Texas. They say everything's bigger there. Okay. So we have Tampa. They're right on pace. Oh, sorry, the record 16-7-2 as of this recording on Sunday. They're right on pace with last year's point total. Identical. But their current 7-game winning streak has outscored opponents 30-10. That's insane. What is happening? That's a statement. That's what that is. They've scored 84 goals for. That's a GF, which is among the top totals in the Eastern Conference. They're an offensive juggernaut. Goaltending is massive. Vasilevsky has 11 wins. No doubt there. Keeping them maybe even in conversation for, it might happen.
Now, did you know this before you looked it up? That Tampa was going to be in this on this list?
Well, the Tampa's the reason I sparked this into hobby news was because I've been watching them this past week, and they just fourth win, fifth win, sixth win, seventh win.
Right.
I was like, okay, what's going on?
Like I've always said, it's like the Tampa Triangle, the Bermuda Triangle. They do it so quietly. I had no idea.
Yeah, I think it was their fourth win. I was like, what's going on here? All right, but then listen, it's not just so the top is kind of separating, and then we have the insane middle. The majority of the middle of the league is piled up in high stress, like a gong show. These teams are supposed to be contenders, but they're like wishy-washy. They're struggling. There's like 15 to 20 of them, and when compared to their historical form, it's a little bit concerning. So I'll go a little homer like Josh did on his whole Jesper thing. I'll pick the Leafs. They're 11 and 11 and 3. They only have 25 points. They're 10 points behind what they were last year. It's not a slump, man. It's a slide. Yeah, I said it. They've given up 89 goals against. They're near the bottom of the league, bottom 3. They have one of the worst road records in the East, 3-7-0. Yes, I'm glowing. I'm beaming in the inside. And they're struggling to compete outside their home arena. They need that quiet library type of atmosphere to pop in the goals. Austin wants no talking. Okay. But he's been hurt, Phil. I don't care. All right. Then we have Florida, 12, 11, and 1, 25 points. They're struggling. They're 7 points behind what they were last year's pace. Not that they're the greatest at the beginning of the year either, but it just feels a little different with Florida. They have a powerful offense, but they're still a -2 goals in differential. They have one of the highest penalty minutes per game in the league. I think they're second to that. And they have a severe lack of discipline, which benefits them in the playoffs, but not so much the regular season. Then you have your Canucks, 10,
Okay,
13.
wait, I have a comment on the Florida. In my mind, they're like the opposite of Dallas, right? Where part of me is like, it doesn't even matter what they do in the regular season as long as they get into the playoffs. Then it's like the year begins for them, and you start to take your evaluation seriously.
It's a different league in the playoffs. That's why I want to play good, average 500 hockey. Then in the last 4 to 7 weeks, I want it to start ramping up, and you go in hot, right? That's how you do it. So then you have Vancouver. They've pretty much stalled out, man. They have 10 points than even last year. I mean, and weren't we talking last year how they're supposed to get better?
Mhm.
The distance between expectation and reality is huge here. They've allowed so just like the Florida Panther or like the Maple Leafs, they've allowed 89 goals against. They're tied with Toronto for some of the worst defense in the NHL. Their penalty kill unit is hovering around the bottom third of the league. They just can't win tight games at all.
Okay, so if you're ranking Team Canada, Canada's hockey teams that I would least like to have to be a fan of is Vancouver, like at the top of that list.
Yeah, I don't know why nobody likes Vancouver, and I would agree. Like, I don't not like them, but I definitely don't like them. I don't know.
And I didn't mean like what people generally like or dislike the team. I'm saying like if that's your team, like what's your level of frustration about?
Oh, I think you're frustrated. Yeah, I think you have no identity, right? They're going through what I went through for like 6-7 years over here, but they have no identity. Once the aliens left, what do they got?
Well, what's your hope for the future at this point? That's what is that like they say like to be a fan of a sports team, you want one of two things. You want to be really good or have hope for the future. And when you don't have either of those, that it's a bad spot to be in.
Well, I think they traded the wrong guy. They should have kept Miller. He's having a good year in the Rangers. He's got jam. Now they have Paterson. He's happy. The really nice guy is happy. He's quiet again. It's good. They got rid of the bad. They got rid of the guy that made him upset. Here we are.
Well, again, I'll say again, I think they should have got rid of both. I think that if you keep either of them, and I understand your point about Miller versus Paterson, but if you keep either of them, it sends a message that type of behavior is acceptable.
Once Tocchet left, you're done. Yeah. If he's not willing to be part of your fix or be part of your solution anymore, I mean, I'd start looking up high management there. But we won't get started on the GM stuff. All right, so I just wanted to point out a few teams here. Just a few teams here that were in the mix in the middle. But winners are built for marathons, and the losers are already gassed. So we're not going to go over the super bad teams. Well, we kind of did a little bit. But here's the thing we always have to remember. The wild card that makes the NHL is the most compelling sport on the planet. And that's what we love, right? Once we get into the playoffs, the Cinderella factor becomes joyful. So we've seen it happen before. The 2015 Ottawa Senators went on a miraculous run, led by Andrew Hammond, the Hamburglar. We clawed our way into the playoffs. We saw the 2023 Florida Panthers barely sneak in into the last spot. And then they upset the greatest regular season team in NHL history. Do you guys remember that? The Bruins had the best record ever.
Yeah.
And the Florida Panthers just, they beat them. Yeah, they done. So anyways, all these points point to the Avs, the Stars, and the Lightning dominating the rest of the year. It's probably likely going to happen, right? But sometimes, just sometimes, magic hits us in a bottle. So I'm really excited. Let's see how the rest of the year plays out. And yeah, it's not really a news story, but just a little update.
Thank you, Phil.
You're welcome.
So cute.
Oh, thanks, Louis.
Okay, new product release is brought to you by Gongshow friend and partner Mint Inc. Mint Inc.'s Ajax location should be just days away from opening. Very exciting for the crew there to expand to their new spot. And of course, the Mint Inc. in general will be buzzing this week with the cup releasing. You'll be able to pick up the cup at their store and on the website mintinc.ca on release day. My advice would be to get there as quick as you can because I'm sure tins all across North America and Europe will be moving very quickly. Lots of interest in Celebrini's Rookie Cup release, of course. And then Mint Inc. also has tons of singles, supplies, memorabilia, toys, and services. They have it all for the collector, and you can do it online at mintinc.ca. One of the things that I mentioned with Grant is how crazy it is that as Upper Deck has raced to get caught up, that here we are again. We have another cup release week. We're going to go through the checklist today, and we just did this 6 months ago. And I remember too, like going back to when our show started, like the gap between 2019, the cup, and 2020, wasn't it like 18 months or something like that, where it was so behind and it felt like it had been forever since we had a cup release. And now, you know, naturally to get caught back up, we're kind of back to back on the bit. And remember, again, we'll be live on Wednesday on the Gongshow YouTube channel, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern with Upper Deck's Billy Cilio to completely break down the cup and talk about it then. But today we're going to go through the checklist highlights, look at some of the design previews that Upper Deck has provided. And as you might imagine, the cup checklists are huge. We're not going to go through it all. So if you want to see everything, then we recommend going to hockeychecklist.com. And there you can see every card in the checklist. But here's the highlights and design overview for today. So we always start with the base set. And pretty typical here for this cup release. The base set for 24-25 has two components. There's 100 veterans that are all numbered to 249. And I think, Phil, you've made this comment on our show a lot. If you're a collector and you don't have the deepest pockets to spend on hockey cards or budget to do so, these out of 249s is a really fun card and particularly a set to build. Like if, and I think that it's, of all the base sets that we have, it's kind of the last one left that has really any sort of value to it. Like you go back to, at this point, some of the more iconic cup releases. If you've collected that entire base set, those cards are pretty valuable, right?
Well, yeah, I only have 3 full sets. I love them dearly. And the first year is one of them. I mean, the Wayne Gretzky out of 249 is pretty much worth that whole rest of the set, but yeah, they're
you
fun.
Put that like in a top loader binder?
So this is the problem. I get myself in this crap, man. I have 3 full sets of the cup base cards. What the heck am I supposed to do with that? It just sits in a shoebox. I thought at this point in my life I'd have a little more establishment and have like more of a man basement, and I'd have a bit more extra money to get my carpenter to build me these beautiful things. I had all these plans, right? But it's, life doesn't go according to plan. So I wanted to display them. That's what I want my cup base cards. I don't want them just sitting in a shoebox. If I can't do that in the next few years, I'm going to sell them all.
Okay.
They're too thick. The cards are too thick, man. So
You want to buy them, Louis?
I do.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, get your checkbook ready.
I don't. What's the check?
Jojo!
All right, there's also 100 rookies on the checklist. Most are auto patch. Some are just auto or just patch. Very few have have either, right? And so and one of the things that we've did when we built our checklist site is, so for each card we denote whether there's just a patch, there's just an auto, and so you can see that on hockeychecklist.com. I want to get you guys' feedback on the design though. I really like the design of the cup rookie patch autos this year.
Agreed.
Right.
Very clean, and I'm like into that minimalist sort of. It's got like a very like, what is that, like brushed aluminum sort of look to it. But
I like how they got waist up shots. I don't like it when it's two shoulders up. I want to see that they're a hockey player. Like Crosby's were RPA. We all know that's Crosby. Okay, cool. It's just his face. This is what it should have been like.
And they didn't put goofy words behind the auto. Imagine the 2015 RPAs like this, where you can clearly see the autograph and it's not like written over other words.
Yeah, this is really nice, man. The more I look at it, it's A1.
We did confirm, and I think they posted it to social media, that all the RPAs are going to be slabbed this year, and then with serial numbers and available to look up on theauthority.com. No word yet if any of the memorabilia is game used. I'm sure that'll come out in the next few days. Otherwise, we'll clarify that with Billy on Wednesday. But the big thing when it comes to the Cup RPAs is who are the 6 out of 99. And this year, those 6 players are Logan Stankoven, Macklin Celebrini, Lane Hudson, Cutter Gauthier, Matvei Michkov, and Will Smith. I would say no real shocker there. And if you had to go through the list then of the 249s and say, well, maybe who are the potential biggest snubs, there wasn't like a ton of candidates. So Frank Nazar, which, would be, and then Jesper Wallstedt are probably, and I don't think any of those deserve an out of 99 over, I don't know, maybe Stankoven's probably the weakest one there at this point. But what do you guys think about that?
That's exactly what I thought. I forgot about Frank Nazar. I thought it was his second year. Well, I mean, I didn't know he was in this year's set.
Yeah.
He might be the smart pickup to buy, right? Like
maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to move on to memorabilia. There's so many memorabilia sets. I mean, that's kind of the big feature with the Cup. And we're going to go over a few of them, not all of them. And there's not a lot of preview images out at this point, too. And that kind of makes a segment like this a little bit tougher. But there's the base memorabilia parallels, and these are pretty consistent every year. So you have the gold foil parallel, which is either auto patch or auto patch. Veterans are out of 8, rookies are out of 24. Then you get the red foil tags or auto tags. Veterans and rookies are both out of 4 there. You have the green foil buttons or auto buttons. Veterans or rookies are out of 3. And then, of course, the black foil, which are either auto cards, shield cards, or auto shield cards. And again, on the checklist site for every card, it's specifically noted which version is which. And so when you're looking at the black foil for veterans, again, these are all 101. There's 70 total. That's in Legends. And I've just got a few of the highlights. So you have Anze Kopitar, who I thought, we're getting toward the ends of his career. He has a shield without an auto. Brock Faber, shield, no auto. You got an Ovi, auto shield, a Messier, who I think is with the Rangers in that one. Heischer Louis has just a shield card, no auto. Eichel, Caulfield, again, shield, no auto. Patrick Waugh.
They did that to my Brady too. I can't stand it.
So Patrick Waugh is just an auto, no shield. AM34. A lot of the legends don't have shields. I'm sure that the inventory of shields at this point are pretty low. It's like Dominic Hasek is just an auto. Yeah, Patrick Kane, who has a auto shield with the Red Wings. Matthew Nyes, Kaprizov auto shield. Mario Lemieux, it's again only an auto. Brady T, there is an auto shield this year, Phil.
Yeah. Well, there was last year too.
And then McDavid and Connor Bedard both have auto shields.
On the
rookie side, what do you say?
Before you move on here, really, Faber though, veteran.
You still stuck on that?
No auto. I don't know.
No, I don't.
Screw your Faber, man. No one cares about Brock.
I'm a homer.
He's all right.
I like it. Baby Brock.
Seriously, why is he in there?
Oh,
Because-
that's what you're saying. I thought you were upset. Oh, okay.
No, I don't care. No shield, no auto. I don't care about that. I just don't understand why he's even in it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's even
Wow.
funnier. Oh, that's good.
Telling me how you feel without telling me how
Yeah.
you feel.
Already, he's a vet and a legend.
Well, he's a vet.
Please.
Well, any non-rookie is a vet when it comes to hockey cards.
Mm.
On
That's
the
like
rookie
Parker's
side,
champions. Yeah.
yeah, again, there's 77 cards. All are auto shields. And here's the picture of the design. I think, again, this looks really good.
Oh man, so out of reach. I'm not buying a. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have to live through others.
Ben will have to live through Benjamin B.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a very expensive week for our new friend Benjamin, probably.
It's fun though. It's
Yeah,
fun.
of course. Live vicariously through him. Oh, and since we're on shields, there's also some dual shields as well.
Out of 2.
Yes. No, I think these are 1-1.
Okay.
That's just a rookie. There is a McDavid Crosby, which is kind of cool.
Show it.
There's no preview.
Ah.
Then a couple of the other highlights are Caulfield and Slavkovsky. Slavkovsky's only a half shield.
A half shield? What is that? What did
Slavkovsky.
Newman make the card?
No, I'm kidding. It's an old joke.
Oh, okay.
AM34 Nylander, Phil, that'll be one that you'll want to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one that stood out was Sider and Raymond. If you're a Red Wings fan, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, a lot of people going after that one.
Honorable numbers, Upper Deck has reverted based on fury and anger from honorable numbers collectors back to serial numbering the card out of the jersey. And because what happened was, it's like, well, the cup is 20 years old now, and if we do a Mario Lemieux out of 66 every year, and so like they started to do them out of like, well, Mario Lemieux had like 7 goals in this game, so they would do it out of 7 and make it more like stat and fun fact kind of stuff, and people didn't like that, so they went back to jersey numbers. And there are some rookies this year too, and some big ones. So you got Celebrini out of 71, Hudson of course out of 48, Mitchkov 39, and the big rookie when it comes to exquisite or honorable numbers is going to be Will Smith, because he's number 2. So that means like a lot of his big rookie patch auto cards are going to be out of 2 this year. And they're also for Baba Louie, Babubidi, there is a Mike Modano out of 9. Of
Yeah. Well, I'll never see that one.
Never say never.
Never.
Limited logos, one of my favorite cup cards. We do have a picture for this. Is serial numbered out of 50 or out of 10. It includes rookies, vets, and legends. Now, here's the big thing. This is one of the very few sets in all of the hockey hobby for rookies where the patches are game used. And you have rookies in it for Cutter Gauthier, Macklin, Celebrini, Mac by Mitchkov. No Layden Hudson, though.
What?
I know.
Interesting.
Maybe they had a hard time getting a Hudson game used rookie jersey. Never know. There are Legends limited logos for Ray Bork, Rob Blake, and I got to admit, I was really excited when I saw the name Ron Francis, and then I saw Penguins, and I was like, ugh.
Anyway.
I would snatch up a Ron Francis, like, sweet Hartford Whalers limited logos in a minute. That would be a sweet card.
Yeah.
And then there's Rick Nash and Serge Savard. A little light on the Legends content in the cup, and I want to talk to Billy about that on Wednesday. I threw this next one in there. I think, it's not a new patch auto, but I really like the materialistic. So it matches up a piece of the stick with a patch on it. These are all out of 35. And some of the highlights include, there's a Brady Chuck. So Bedsy, we're looking at this is the preview shot there. There's a Joe Sakic.
Do you like the jersey and stick combo?
I do. A lot.
Yeah. I wish I did.
Almost better than 2 patches. What do you think, Luke?
Yeah.
Needs to be a real stick though. Like if that, I know this is just a mock-up, but it can't be a wood stick for, do it right. It's got to have
Louis.
part of the whatever stick manufacturer's name in it, and I mean it's the cup for God's sake.
I could do blade. I can't do the long part of the stick, which is also known as the shaft. I don't want that part because it's planed. I want the blade. If the blade, if I had a piece of the blade which is thin enough to be in a 180 point, maybe even bigger. But anything that comes in like a net cords type of thing, that's too thick.
Would you? So if there's a piece of the blade like in there, would you touch it like you would a patch?
I don't know. What are you doing with the set? What is that? Why you want this card? Because you want to touch the shaft? Is that what you're trying to say? Well,
gross.
Don't make filthies insinuated like that. I just don't like the hockey stick card.
Right. Well, okay. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you then, because the next card I was going to mention is a Guy Lafleur.
Well, I'm allowed not to like a Guy Lafleur card.
What if it's awesome? And then you look stupid again.
You get used to it after a while.
Needs to be a patch shaft.
Patch shaft. Patch shaft.
Then there's a Mario Lemieux, the Materialistics as well. There's also a very popular card. There's rookie tributes again using the 0506 design, and these are traditionally out of 10. And so there's 9 players on the checklist, including Cutter Gauthier, Frank Nazar, Macklin Celebrini, Matvei Michkov, Will Smith, no Lane Hudson. A lot of shade and Lane Hudson on the cup checklist.
Well, maybe his dad called Upper Deck and was like, "You better put my kid in the 99, eh? You better do that." So they're like, "Whoa, psycho."
And again, there's many more memorabilia sets. You can go to hockeychecklist.com to check them out. But I want to move on to booklets. So there's 2 type of booklets in 24-25 the cup. There's the Monumental Patch, which we're used to, and then there's the new Monumental Puck. So we'll start with the patch. Veterans are 101. It includes AM34, Ovechkin, Bedard, McDavid, Kaprizov, Draisaitl, and Messier on the Rangers. Rookies are out of 6, and it includes Frank Nazar, Cutter Gauthier, Jesper Wallstedt, Lane Hudson, Shimmy Shakes, does have a monumental patch, Macklin Celebrini, Matvei Michkov, and Will Smith. And then the Monumental Puck booklets. These are 101s for both veterans and rookies. On the vet side, you have AM34, Ovi, Brady T, McDavid, Eichel, Kaprizov, Draisaitl, and Quinn Hughes. What do you guys think of the new Monumental Puck cards as far as booklets?
So do I look at it like this? Is it a booklet like that? Or is that
I think it's a booklet that folds like that way, but then you open it the other way, other orientation.
Is the puck cut? The top half?
Yeah, I think they cut a puck in half. Like they sawed the...
Is it a game-used puck?
Yeah.
Yes, it's dated.
Can I see the back of the puck on the back of the card?
I don't think so.
I'd have to see it in hand before I like it. Okay. I'm intrigued.
And then for rookies, there's a Cutter Gauthier, Celebrini, Michkov, Will Smith, no Shimmy Shakes. Apparently, Lane's dad wouldn't allow them to have a puck either.
Yeah.
Autographs is another big component of the cup. And again, there's many autograph sets. We're going to highlight a few. Color coded is back. I'll admit, have liked previous designs a little bit better, but I am intrigued by the white auto on a solid color background.
Yeah.
So I'm going to reserve judgment to see these in hand, but
wait a minute. Okay. Well, I got my first Billy question. Color coded. So it's just the blue card? It's blue and white. I think
for every team, it'll have a different color, like to match like a primary.
Yeah, you're right. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. There are some dual and triple autos, and why I think these can be significant is that did you have a comment, Louis?
No, we're good.
Okay. So I was talking about dual and triple autos, and what I was mentioning why these can be significant is that I'm assuming they won't be stickers, and Upper Deck has kind of moved to sticker on most multiplayer auto cards. And so the dual out of 10 includes Mitch Goff and Travis Konechny, Ray Bourque and Cam Neely. That would probably be, if you're an 80s Bruins fan, that'd be a cool one.
Ray Bourque's hard to get on stickers, so it might not be stickers because he's so up. He's very wide.
I think these are on card.
Yeah.
Kucherov and Martin St. Louis, which that's kind of a cool if you're a Tampa Bay guy. And then they have 3 triple autos. So 3 cards. They have an Islanders themed one with Matthew Barzal, our guy Brian Trottier, and Brock Nelson. Then a big one, and this is numbered out of 3. They have Gretzky, Lemieux, and Messier.
Wow.
Ooh.
And then a Russian connection, Kucherov, Kaprizov, and Ovechkin.
Aw, that's all. That's a great card. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Enshrinements is out of 99 or 29. It's another kind of old school
Banger.
yeah, that's kind of a cool one. Notable names include Bobby Orr, Austin Matthews, Alexander Ovechkin, Connor McDavid, Eric Lindros, and others. Then there's duos. So there's 2 cards that have 2 autos on them. One is a rookie one with Matvei Michkov and Logan Stankoven. I'm not sure the connection there, but that's out of 25. And then this one could be really interesting if Upper Deck does it the right way. Hopefully with like an inscription. There's a enshrinements duo of Gretzky and Ovechkin.
In inscription, like what's Ovechkin gonna put?
I have more goals than you, Wayne.
Yeah, I'm better than you, Wayne. Oh boy. Oh no, Wayne. Yeah, Wayne took another picture with your POTUS there. Oh my God, my country's losing it. Oh yeah, he went golfing with Orange Guy, and oh my God, he's just it's the end of the world for some people. Yeah, it's fun for me to watch and most of us to watch, but
get off
yeah.
it.
Lavish is a new auto card.
It's pretty lavish.
These are serial numbered out of 25. You like this, Louis?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's cool. I like the black and white. And if you have like a really like almost like a metallic and bright colored auto, I think that could look really cool. So this is one off to see in hand. It's got rookies, vets, and legends include Lemieux. There's a Madonna, Louis.
Yeah.
Jumbo
I'm liking
Joe.
this. I'm liking the Lemieux. I feel like his name's popping up more, right?
He's awesome.
Yeah, well, I know that. I wish I'd collected him more, but it's get a little less of Wayne, more Mario, maybe more Mike Bossy stuff, you know?
Yeah. Then there's also Phil Esposito, which is cool, and then Stevie Y. And again, tons more auto sets. Go to hockeychecklist.com. Inserts, there's 2 insert sets, elegant etchings and lavish, but does anyone care about inserts in the cup? No. So we'll move on.
Mm-hmm.
Exquisite and Splendor. So Exquisite is back with RPAs. Again, these are numbered to a player's jersey number, and we've got a preview image of these too. So some years I've liked the Exquisite RPA better than the Cup. I actually think even though the patch is bigger in the Exquisite, that I like the Cup RPA better this year. What do you guys think?
I like them both. I like. I think I do like the Cup RPA. It's more of a minimalist design,
Cleaner.
and you can see more of the player as well.
Boom.
Oh yeah, good point there. So again, now with the Exquisite RPAs, they're not 99 out of 99 or out of 249. They're numbered to the player's jersey. So that means the Will Smith will be out of 2 again, and the Macklin Celebrini out of 71, and whatever number respectively for that player. There's also Exquisite Rookie Auto Shields. So in that variety, there's cards for Celebrini, Michkov, Will Smith, but again, no shimmy shakes.
All right, what's going on? Well, we know what. Ask Billy. Write this stuff down, somebody. We're gonna ask Billy.
The big card, though, that had a lot of people talking when the previews first came out are the in 24-25, the Cup are the 0304 Exquisite Tributes. So you have vets and rookies, legends those are vets and rookies that are one category, and then legends in another. There's quite a few parallels. I think there's 2 different parallels, but the showstopper is what we're looking at on YouTube, the Black 101 parallel. Here's the legends checklist. You have Jumbo Joe, Messier and the Rangers. I think Thornton's in Sharks, I believe. Mike Modano, Ray Bork, which is a glove memorabilia. Ron Francis and Penguins again. Stevie Y, Timu in the Mighty Ducks, another glove memorabilia. And then Gretzky in the Oilers, which is a glove in the 101, not the oil drop like Upper Deck put in the preview, which is another topic for Billy on Wednesday, because I think that set an expectation.
Whoa. Pause. That card does not exist on the screen?
The card exists, but the memorabilia is a glove, not a patch.
Correct.
So that card on the screen does not exist.
It does not exist. And Upper Deck put it out as the preview for the Cup.
Maybe that's
I don't know why
Jason
they do that.
Maybe Jason, when we showed him the picture, he said, "Oh, I didn't know that card exists." Maybe because it doesn't.
Well, what he said was, to be more specific, but you're right on. He said, "I didn't know we had an oil drop patch for Wayne."
Yeah, okay,
because
even so, this is where I get irrational and frustrated. So this is where certain teams aren't talking to other teams, or like Is this the graphic designer just filling it in and not knowing anything about cards? Oh,
It's not good quality control. You can say that. And it's a big deal in that you could make the argument if this patch as represented in the preview was on this card, that it could be the product hit. Now, maybe a Celebrini shield will go for more, but
it just makes no sense. Like, I have a business. I don't falsely I'm not like, oh, I do interlock, and then I go do an interlock estimate. Like, oh no, that's just for the website. But I do have tools. And this is the truck you saw in my commercial, but I don't do interlock. Like, it just seems so silly to me that you would advertise something that does not exist. And
well,
if I'm sorry, it's a sticking point. This is very frustrating.
One thing Upper Deck started to do is put a disclaimer on these previews. I'm not excusing anything. I'm just using this as a piece of information that basically alludes to the fact that the card might be different in real life, but it's a bad because you're setting an expectation. You're getting people really, really excited about a card and a patch that not many people assumed was still available. And then now you're putting as much as I like gloves,
Josh, all three of us know when this card, the preview came out, everybody talked about it. Everybody. I made a freaking reel. I'm flabbergasted. I'm not surprised, but I'm flabbergasted. It just seems very silly. I don't know what other word to say. It seems very silly.
It's something Upper Deck should fix, because I think people would have been, I'm not saying more excited, but people would have still been excited about this card with a really nice glove piece. But now people are just disappointed, right? Is that you've taken a good thing and you've turned it into a disappointment.
But the problem is it says exquisite autograph patch. Then you're going to put a glove in it.
Yeah, there's
I don't
three
even
gloves:
care about
Timu,
that. I just
Gretzky, and Borg.
There's
why are you like, who's the project manager of posting this picture? Like, oh, cool. So that card exists, right? Like, that's just such an important detail, man. Like, what? I don't. Okay, how about this? Maybe I'm a little more upset than I should be, because it shows that somebody along the way of decision making kind of sort of didn't care. Is that a rude? I'm not trying to be rude, but they kind of sort of didn't think it mattered to just put this out there, and they don't really care, do they? Or like, I'm just trying to get behind it.
No, I don't think that's fair, because in care implies intent. That they, I think what's more likely is just a lack of attention to detail or a lack of quality control.
But Josh, so if I went, so nobody took a picture of this card. This card has a template on somebody's computer. Somebody went out of their way to clip a patch off of a jersey, a crest oil drop, and in Photoshop or whatever their program of choice is, made this card digitally. So when that's what I'm saying is they don't care. If you are in the process of creating a digital card that doesn't exist, I'm going to label you as someone who doesn't care. You're just trying to get the job done and out there. And I don't feel that is an unfair statement. If you cared, you would do what exists. Maybe I'm muttering the waters there. I don't know. Seems just very peculiar move to me.
It's not a good look. I mean, we're not arguing different sides here.
Okay.
That's for sure. And I think it's a mistake, because like I said, I think given the right expectation, people would have still been as excited about this card. Now, here's another way to look at this, and this is a different angle than the whole Upper Deck why this happened of it, is that if this scenario is a signal that there really isn't any Gretzky game used like patch cards left to make, it might be a really good idea if you have some money, instead of maybe spending $50,000 on the hot new rookie. If there's some like limited logo cards out there with oil patches and they're out of jerseys, that might be a really smart buy at this point.
Okay.
Because I don't know how many more, I don't know how many more they can make.
Well, they can go buy some. There some exist, but I don't think they want to drop $50K and start cutting it up, right?
Oh, I think a game used Gretzky Oilers jersey is way more than $50K now. Yeah, it's big money.
Well, let's think outside of the box a little bit. If I was Upper Deck, I would try to get Gretzky to play one game and get him to wear 500 jerseys really quick. For the hobby, man, for the hobby.
Yeah. Wow. but again, I'm just wasn't disagreeing with you. If I was in charge of this release, I would have like had like an upset stomach when I saw this preview come out, knowing, and I probably would have corrected it too. That's another curious element to me is to just kind of let it kind of permeate out there versus saying, oh, oops, here's like the real image of the card.
How, like, if I'm the manager and I have 4 employees in my silo at Upper Deck, and I'm like, okay, photographers and graphic designers, go. I'll see you on Friday. You have 3 days to take pictures and design. Not design. The designs are done. You have 3 days to make pictures and files of data of said pictures so I can forward to marketing. Okay, sounds good, boss. We'll reconvene in 3 days. And then they come in 3 days, and then I see this card, and I look at the person who made it, and I say, I'm sorry, I talked to the manager at the other department. This card doesn't exist. And then you'd be like, yeah, I know. I took the glove out and I put the patch in. I thought it looks better. Oh, great idea. Okay, let's submit it. Like, I'm confused how that happens. I would just like someone to say,
you see, you're outlining a hypothetical scenario where somebody knowingly did that. My best guess is that they're just, and this is not an excuse. I'm trying to like, what are more plausible reasons of what happened?
yeah.
Is that Upper Deck is very siloed, and whoever is the artist that made this card is not a diehard hockey collector and didn't know. And that's where I go back to lack of quality control, is that somebody should be, reviewing, like in the marketing department, or have a, okay, before we put these out, let's go through this. And obviously this detail was missed, but it's a really significant detail. Some details are minor, other details are significant.
So
and
where did this detail manifest from? That we're missing each other here, and it's my fault. I'm not explaining it right. This card that we're looking at had to be fabricated on a computer screen. There's no picture taken. I'm asking, my only point is, why did you just not take a picture of the card that really exists?
Because I'm guessing the preview images were made before the cards were produced.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Or before the memorabilia was. Remember, the cards were produced, and then the memorabilia is added to them.
Okay, so that's where I'm missing it. Okay, so thank you for saying that.
None of it is. I mean, I think it's very important that these get. And this is not the first time this has happened. It is happening on a somewhat frequent, if that's fair or not, basis. And so I would want to shore this up if I had influence at Upper Deck.
I've shown this card to like 100 people. This is it's
You're a liar. You're showing them fake stuff.
Yeah, I know. I'm big liar. That's okay. I'm just sad. I'm not upset. It's not like I'll ever own this card. Like, why do I care about something I won't even own? I'm just, you caught me off guard. Caught me in real time off guard.
It's a good discussion.
And I'm sad about it, but it'll be okay. It'll be okay.
And then beyond Exquisite, then Splendor has basically 2 cards, just a veteran patch auto and a rookie patch auto. Both are serial numbered out of 36. And I don't love like the cream color, but it's a nice looking card.
Sure.
So Phil's favorite player.
Sure.
I like putting cinnamon.
We got all sad with Wayne Gretzky, and that's what friends are for. We immediately brighten you up by letting you stare at a Austin Matthews card.
Yeah, no, it was a great segue. Thanks, boys.
Yeah. Okay, here's what to expect if you want to rip a tin of 24-25 the cup. It's going to be spendy. You get in every tin, there's 6 cards. You get 1 base set card, 1 base set rookie patch autograph that will be encased, 1 numbered autograph memorabilia card, booklet, or printing plate, 1 autograph card, autograph jersey card, or autograph booklet, 2 base set insert memorabilia, printing plate, and/or redemption cards. Might be some redemptions. Now, not many. There's not a lot of as many pre-sales for the cup because people don't have to. They know that they'll sell out whatever allocation they get right away. But I did notice that pre-sales are creeping up already.
Mm-hmm.
It's up, I think, $15-20 on Dave and Adams already to now $15.10
What an odd
USD.
number.
Listen,
15.
good listener. If you are on the fence and you've never bought a cup tin or you've bought lots before and you're like, I don't know, you need to make a decision this week, like now, because the price will go up so hard, so fast when your LCS sells out, and it will. Whether you're in the States or Canada, the distributors are licking their chops.
Yeah, Grant made that point in our interview. He said like for
Okay.
his breaks and for at Mint Inc., if you're buying the boxes, that the reorder prices are going to be way up. And so once the
Nuts.
shops and breakers go through their allocation, you're going to pay more.
So
You know, that's
if you're personal, like, oh, I want to treat myself, the kid, I can't stand my kids and my wife, I hate my life, I want to go buy a cup tin and sit in my car and do it. Do it as quick as possible, because don't wait till Christmas, dude. You're gonna pay like 20% more, guaranteed.
Oh boy.
All right, overall thoughts. Are you guys, what do you, we haven't seen it in hand, but just based on the preview and checklist, it looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, it looks incredible.
That looks great.
Okay, Phil, you ready for mailbag?
Let's do it. Let's get it on.
Let's go.
All right, first question. CT Flyers fan 79. Is that Neil?
No.
Okay. I asked California Dave this question in his Instagram, but I thought Josh would be especially suited to answer this question, but maybe not as far as the modern Fleer Ultra. We have access to information, though, CT. I know it's on EPAC, but what exactly is it? How would you describe the set? What are the chases? Josh.
When I think of Fleer Ultra, it's kind of bringing back the 90s nostalgia with it overall being an insert dominated set, right? So like you buy SP Authentic for the future for autos, you buy the cup for memorabilia cards, you buy the Fleer Ultra for the inserts, really, and the leading one seems to be the medallions, which comes in a lot of parallels there. So I don't know, Phil, do you want to add anything to that, or Louis?
No, I think that was solid. I if they are autographs in that set, they're usually a sticker, and that's not why people collect the set. So I also have the 2012-13 Fleer Retro. I don't want any autographs in my box, but unfortunately there's 6 of them. I want the inserts, and I'm a 90s kid. No, Josh, you explained it. You explained it perfectly. All right, next question from Discord. Sweet mother of mercy. Okay. NPC83. Hey, fellas. Great show. Thank you for all you do. I've learned so much from listening to the show. Our show? I'm grateful and in your debt. I have a question about selling. Auctions versus best offer/fixed price. I've heard you guys, most recently Josh, say to put a card on auction to maximize its value, but from my research, it doesn't always seem to work this way. For big, banger cards, auctions seem to attract competitiveness and can get good return. However, many cards I research on Card Ladder that are mid to lower cost seem to have auction sales that are lower than best offers or a fixed price. My theory is, with so many cards being auctioned every week and the hobby's continued growth, many listings aren't getting quite as many eyeballs on them as we would think. Slab Sharks is actually a good example. With either 8,000 plus weekly listings, I'm thinking there are many cards that fly under the radar. Oh, yes, there are, buddy. Are auctions really the best way to maximize value? Have any of you had similar observations? Blah, blah. Have any of you had similar observations when researching prices? I think Louis got a good handle on this. If you want to take it away there.
Yeah, I kind of went overboard on this one for some reason, but so my observations and takeaways and things to touch on from your questions. I don't think auctions, auctions may not universally maximize price, but they will give you the true real world market value right now. And that's what they're best for. Fair market value. God, I can't. If I wrote this like I said it, holy macaroni. Auctions may not universally maximize price, but will give you the true real world market value now. and they're best for maximizing fair market value quickly for cards with strong demand and good visibility. So first, starting with higher end cards listed. This is your star rookies, big SP inserts, grails, and truly hot players. Bangers and high demand cards can absolutely drive great results and have a higher chance for better results than, I would say, buy it now or best offers, because you're tapping into FOMO and competition. Secondly, you'll go into your mid cost cards. These are the ones that still create demand, but it helps if the card type is sought after or the player is hot or is also still collectible. I can see this as a possible spot to start thinking about buy it now, but to this day, using Slab Sharks, and this is where I usually hang around, I've had no issues and great success selling cards, so I don't throw any of these in a buy it now situation. Your lower end or common stuff, I'll put in the 25 bucks or less. To me, this is your clearance stuff. You should be treating this like sending in a bulk or don't need, just stuff that's taking up space, saving you time and making more space for you to get new stuff. This is your buy it now or best offer wheelhouse. And then lastly, diving into Slab Sharks, since you brought them up, I get why maybe 8,000 cards or more sounds like stuff will get lost, but honestly, that's not how any of us really shop anymore. Serious collectors or people searching for stuff, they're not scrolling page by page. We search by usually a player, team, set, year, what have you. If anything that's in that auction, if the card is desirable, the right people will see it, whether there are 500 or 8,000. The weekly Slab Sharks auction that we do here every Thursday night pulls in more people who come for Bedard, McDavid, PMGs, all that top stuff, and end up actually bidding on other stuff too. So high volume is a sign of a good auction and usually never a problem. The real risk isn't too many cards. It's people sending in cards nobody really wants. So what I'm saying here is that if a card has buyers, they'll find it. If it doesn't have buyers, it wouldn't sell even if there were just 50 cards in the auction.
Well
Yeah.
said, Louis.
So
Josh,
I just
anything
want to
to
add a
add?
couple things because you referenced my kind of take, which I don't think was like 100% accurate, and that's not an NPC. Maybe I didn't communicate it clearly, but here's what I mean by saying maximize value is that, well, first and foremost, what an auction does is it enables you to sell whatever your cards you have today or the day the auction ends. In a buy it now scenario, you can pick your price, but it may sell in an hour, in a day, in a week, a month, a year, or 10 years. You don't know, right? So if your goal is to move the card, then an auction provides that vehicle to do so. What I mean by maximum value is we've seen so many sales lately. The Celebrini Will Smith Shield that went for 30,000 US. I don't think anyone would have put that much in a buy it now scenario expecting that card to go for much. And so what an auction allows you to do, it doesn't mean that every card will sell for the most value, but it allows you to find what the maximum value on that day is for that card because it's a competitive environment. It's not a price that is looking for one buyer to come and accept. And so when it's cards that are in demand, I think that you'll find you get more value. And then on Slab Sharks, all I can tell you is anecdotally, and yes, we are sponsored by them. We do use them. We are partnered by them. So we're incredibly biased. I get that. Is I also bid on Slab Sharks every week, and I never win cards because it's so, and they all go for, they seem to, I shouldn't say all, in most cases, the cards I want anyways are going for more than I thought they would. And so it seems like that it's a great way to sell. But like in any case, this is what I prescribe to when it comes to auctions is that if you auction 10 cards, you're going to be really happy with 2, really disappointed by 2, and be pretty okay with 6. I think like that's sort of the rule of thumb that I prescribe to.
Well said, boys. I don't have anything to add. Nothing
Okay.
of value, anyways. All right, next question. Instagram, fan of the New York Rangers. What's up, fellas? Not sure if you've covered this, but what are the top 6 teams, not including the original 6, with the biggest hockey card collecting fan base? Louis, what do you think?
Not in any particular order, but I was just Penguins, Oilers, Avalanche, Caps, North Stars, Wild, Flyers.
Joshy Poo?
I had 4 that really stuck out to me. Is that these are all copies of Louis, but Oilers for sure, Penguins, Capitals, and Avalanche. And then, as far as like really big hobby chases, I feel like almost all the other teams, unless I completely forgot a team, are more kind of nichey. I don't know, Phil, what do you think?
I don't know how to. I would just say Edmonton and Pittsburgh. I don't really
Maybe.
think any other. Yeah, like
Maybe.
to me, not even the Avalanche. But that's I don't like Avalanche cards, so maybe that's why. But
No.
anything Oilers and Penguins have had generational talent after generational talent. There's
Maybe a good way to
there.
put it is outside of the original 6 teams, it's very player driven.
Ooh,
So if
always,
Macklin Celebrity's on the Sharks and there's a huge chase, there's a huge chase right now if he's on any team.
yeah, good point. All right, hope that helped, Rangers. Instagram, next question. Instagram, Hennif. What's up, buddy? Dear Sir Philip from Ottawa, hi, counselor. What is the biggest card you have found in a dollar box? Well, I'll answer it. I don't really have a good story. I don't. But the only one, and the first one that comes to my mind, is a Score Summit Gold, Summit Series Gold Alfredson. I actually found that card in a $1 box, and I felt horrible. I mean, I had full intentions to only pay $1, but I showed, I told the guy it was worth a lot more, and he didn't even know. I threw him $20. Is that silly? Yes, it is. I need to sleep at night. So,
hey, Phil, do you think our friend Brad was blowing smoke at us the other day when he sent us a text of what he said was a $1 box fine?
yes, he was lying.
Okay.
Well, of course he was. Yeah, Brad sent us a text that said he found a premier Brady Tkachuk,
101.
rookie. 101. Oh, it wasn't a rookie though, but a 101.
Yeah.
He found a $1, but yeah, hilarious, Brad. I don't even like that card. It's not even a nice card, Brad. So, you bought a silly card. Okay. Next question. Still only 25 cents, 67. Question for Billy next week's show. Are you going to give Phil a card to hold, and why is it Alexander Barbanov chemical compositions?
This is brilliant.
Yep. I love it. We'll ask Billy. We're on it still only. We're on it. I can't speak well. Discord, Vegas card collector. After watching Thursday's episode and Louis getting all googly-eyed over the Sloppy D oil drop patch, I saw that too. I'm wondering what each of you consider to be the ultimate part of a specific team's logo for a patch. I'll go first.
Mhm.
I think shoulder patches on most teams outperform the crest, in my opinion, because I think you can get more intricate on the shoulder.
Yeah. More going on.
And yeah, more going on, more colors, more fun.
Did I not
Louis?
get the question right?
I don't know.
No, I think you got it right.
Okay.
Wait, yeah. What do you think? Or Josh, you go ahead and then Louis will think.
I totally agree with you. I like shoulder patches, but if I had to pick a particular part of any patch, the star on the wild patch is pretty cool. I like that.
Louis, thoughts?
Well, first off, you can't argue my take though that oil drop was sick. So, but like Josh followed up there with a specific part of a logo, and I chose these 2 teams, the Red Wings. I would, any part of the wheel or part of the maple leaf on the Leafs, something that gives you a lot of stitching detail and colors, and those 2 specifically because the jerseys only have 2 colors, so you really have to find a piece of it that's super intricate to make it look awesome.
Give me a piece of like where you can clearly pick out the whale tail on a Whalers patch. Oh my.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it adds to the chunk. It adds to the chunkiness. All right, next question. NPC 83. Man. Okay. Okay. All right. I know this one has been answered before, but for some reason I still haven't wrapped my head around it. What defines an NHL rookie year? And therefore the year of a player's rookie card? The following is my current understanding. Is it accurate? A player is considered a rookie in the season in which they meet all of the following 2 conditions. They have not played more than 25 NHL games in any previous season, or 6 or more NHL games in each of the 2 previous seasons. They must be under 26 years old on September 15th of their rookie season. Example, if a player under the age of 26 plays 5 games in 22-23, plays full-time in 2023-24, has not otherwise played in the NHL, their rookie season is 23-24 because 5 games didn't exceed the rookie threshold, and they meet the age and total game count rules. Someone said the above is also the criteria to be eligible for the Calder Trophy. Oh my God, this is a Josh question. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, that's a mental twister.
I'm dizzy.
2.5 hours into the show, I'm trying to like unpack. I think, well, first of all, NPC, I've heard the exact same criteria. I think all conditions have to be met, and as long as I almost think like if there's a specific player you're talking about, it'd be easier to answer this question. And I feel like that maybe there is that subtext to here. So can you maybe ask it again for next week? Like, like some like 27-year-old or something like that you wonder should be
Josh.
eligible.
ChatGPT says the exact thing you got down, Josh. So let's just roll with that.
Yeah,
Josh,
but I'm just restating what he said.
Oh.
So
Josh is wanting to build a dialogue with you, NPC 83. So this is an honor. Yeah, he wants a dialogue. He loves emails, and he might even schedule a time for you on Google Meets. Okay, here we go. Sorry. All right, next question. Minnesota Sports Card Junkie, Tori, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, got it. There we go. Would the hobby support a true game used only memorabilia product? Oh, this is a Josh question. With all the cool patches, I wonder if a single packed product of jersey swatches, logo patches, gloves, sticks, numbers, oh my, would be an interesting product. No base, no junk, no autos, just varying levels of game used memorabilia. I'll go first. I struggle with this. I have to be honest with myself. I don't really care if the thing is game used or not. I got to be honest. I don't really care. As long as it's player worn, and I don't really care if it was even in warm-ups or practice. Throw a game-used jersey in a practice on Brady Tkachuk, I'll buy it. I'm good. I'll buy those cards all day, all night long. But putting on and off 50 jerseys, player worn, that's kind of lame, I guess. So I don't know.
You call yourself a card snob?
I know,
and
right?
You make that statement?
I know. I'm not proud of it.
Shame.
Whatever.
I'm 100% behind this. 100%.
Would you rather I lie to you? You want comfortable lies or inconvenient truths?
You just disappointed me.
I'm used to that too. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm 100% behind this. It should happen.
Sure, it can happen. I'm out. Too much.
Would be
too expensive, so I don't care.
but Louis, though, I mean, in all honesty, when the question's like, will the hobby support? It's whether I or you can afford it or not. I mean, that's not really the question, right? It's like
no, but I can interject that the hobby will support it. I won't be able to participate in it. How's that?
It's fun watching.
Yeah.
You have cup cards. You can participate in any level of the hobby.
1 or 2. Okay, maybe more.
Oh boy! Yeah, let's spend the next 3 hours. Okay, fine. 47.
All right. Okay, so I guess we all kind of like the idea. Well, some of us more than others.
Love it.
Next question. Hey, Cheeto Fingers, what's up, buddy?
Hi.
Hey, gents, what's going on, Cheeto? With the recent talk around the price of Black Diamond and sticker autos, do you know if the athlete gets paid the same for a sticker auto versus an on-card auto? Keep up the great work, especially Phil. Oh, thanks, buddy. I have no clue, but I know Josh will answer, and if he doesn't know, we'll ask Billy. Josh, go ahead.
Yeah, I think we'll ask Billy that. I would assume they do, because if I'm representing a player, I'm a player. I'm not letting that. If I'm signing my name, you tell me where to sign and I'll sign, but it's X amount of dollars per signature.
Mm-hmm.
It's for the kids.
For the kids.
Okay, next question. Marco da Silva. Second-year cards. Do they hold any value compared to any other year, excluding rookie? I'll go first. I hear it mentioned a lot, but I don't think so. Not really. I think the first year of a new set, like the first year of O-Pee-Chee Platinum, Sidney Crosby card would be worth more than a second-year Sidney Crosby card of whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
Even though the platinum didn't exist then. I don't think so too much.
No.
Boys, do you have anything?
No.
Nope.
No? Okay, next question. Barrick Christian. For nostalgia purposes, if you could open any product, what would it be? Josh?
Probably 1990 Upper Deck.
I should say that, but I've opened a lot of that in the last, well, not recent, but I'm kind of in a 90-91 tops right now. I like the Curtis Joseph little top prospect baby blue there. Yeah, they're horrible cards, and I love them. I love them, love them.
I have
Louis?
no idea what. I honestly, I didn't put anything because I have no clue. I honestly don't know what I would open.
Yeah, you're right. It's going to brew, and Louis will answer you next week. It's going to fester. Next question, Instagram. Pele Dog _cards. Probably been asked before, but why grade 1 of 1s other than authenticating a card? I'll go first. I truly feel it's because people feel they have to. I believe that the hobby is in phase 3 of the whiteboard executive corporate America whiteboard meeting, right? Well done. Everything's going to plan. Yeah, it's silly. I don't know why people grade 1 of 1s. If you want to authenticate it, sure. If it's over $1,000 and you want to authenticate it so you can sell the card easier, or as a buyer feel safer and more comfortable in your purchase, which you should. If you're spending over $1,000, you should get a second or third pair of eyes on that piece of asset you're buying. But in general, I think my joke aside, I think a lot of the big companies with big skin in the game have massaged our hobby, the culture of our hobby, to make most people feel they just need to grade a card. So it's not bad or good. It can be, but I've accepted it. Josh, what do you think?
Well, I think authentication is really the only reason to do it. And I've thought about this too. Like, there was a recent sale of, I think it was on Slab Sharks, of a 2024 O-Pee-Chee Platinum Kaprizov Golden Treasures 101. That was a graded PSA 10. Yeah. And this is just my own opinion. Everyone can think what they want. But whether that card is, I was trying to think like what the threshold would be for me. And I think that if the card is a PSA 8, 9, or 10, the value literally doesn't change in my mind. Now, if it was graded like a PSA 4 because a corner was bent in half or something like that.
Oh, a 1-1, yeah.
Then I think it changes in my mind. But whether that Kaprizov's an 8 or a 10, I don't think it's worth any more or less because of the grade.
Unless it's visible damage, like visible, like somebody ripped a corner off. Okay, well, that kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's preference. At the end of the day, people have preference, Okay, next question. Second last one. Kevin B. Smith. What's up, man? Late, but with the U.S. holiday here, what are you most thankful for the hobby? Louis.
Penny sleeves.
Good
Quick answer, but accurate. Joshua.
I always say it, but the people.
And myself, it's my son's progress and health, and my hockey cards. That's what I'm thankful for.
Okay.
All right. That's what I think of when I have a bad moment. I say, calm down. No one's dying. What are you thankful for? What are you grateful for, Phil? My son's healthy. He's progressing well. I'm healthy. And I have hockey cards that I love. Life is good. Last question. Dennis, also known as Rayport Card Collection. Is the deep dive segment... Louis, I can't read that.
What?
I'm on the notes. Is the deep dive segment on hiatus? I'm sorry for yelling. Josh, go ahead.
I don't know.
Well, the captain is sinking the ship. Wrap it up.
Well, if people want it more, message in the comments. What happens on this show, if we want to get inside baseball gong show here, is we lock ourselves into certain segments like Get to Know Your Hall of Famer and Who's Hot in the Struggle Bus. And we're also trying to keep our shows like nice and tight and spicy and not be 7 hours every time. And so and then I think like my interest level, because I do, am the chief writer on the show, kind of ebbs and flows with certain things. And sometimes I get into things and sometimes I get out of things. I don't know. Is that a good answer or?
Yep.
Yeah. Is it? Do you notice? You've said sometimes if you notice me getting distracted,
Switch it up.
you know that's a like it's not a most appealing thing or something
I don't
going
know.
on.
But usually the deep dive comes up with like a specific, like something's really going on or something new, or we learned something and we want to dig into it. It just kind of happens when it happens.
It's usually a rookie deep dive thing, and beyond Demidov, I don't know. Like it seems it's like in the past month, in my mind, the Bedard and Celebrini. It's more like the year 2 and 3 guys are more interesting than the rookie guys right now, and that could be just my bias. But I don't know how many people like want like a Gabe Pro deep dive right now.
Well, like didn't you do a deep dive on Celebrini kind of today? Like, isn't that the same thing?
Yeah, no, but I would do like proper deep dives where we'd put up a hobby poll and let people choose,
Oh,
and
I
then
missed the hobby
go.
poll. Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that was the segment, the Instagram, who picked and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Pinto. Yeah. Oh, that was fun. We should do that.
Okay, I'll bring them back.
All right.
All right, personal pickups. Phil, it's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Just to go right back to you.
I love it.
All right. Well, my first card. Yeah. Tony Twist, exquisite endorsement relic out of 50. This card has everything going for it. It's very cool. It has great eye appeal, and I value it for my personal collection. This is what's called a chunky patch. The Quebec, the Northman Nordique. Oh, I love it. So, big, strong guy on cardboard. Check. Nordique. Check. Too big for a top loader. X marks the checkbox on that. So, it's my first Quebec Nordique patch auto card. I don't know what to do now, but I love the card and I'm very happy I bought it. It is worth the confusion of what to do with it now. All right, my next one. What a card. I please go watch my Expo pickups video. I explain it very well. But this card, what you're looking at, good listener, is a 2013-14 Sidney Crosby Panini Contenders, Heart Contenders. This is a card, it's called a jackpot. I offered to pay full pop sticker price immediately to the dealer in my idiot fashion and hit him high sports card. Josh Thorne. He was the seller and he laughed at me and said, no, Phil, let's get a good deal here. Come on. So thank you, Josh, for saving me a few $100 that you could have taken off me quite easily. So I picked this bad boy up for $850 and I'm very happy. Game used patch. I explain everything I like about the card. I'm not going to hijack the podcast. Go check out the video. But I'm very happy with this card, and it is out of 25. The gold writing, everything about it.
$850. Josh, we
$850.
got that for like $30.
Yeah. All right.
Jack.
Oh, 25 of 25. Bookend. Attaboy.
2021-22 Upper Deck Exquisite Collection Auto Mike Modano. Out of 25. Yes, it is 25 out of 25 if you're into that.
Can I make 2 comments? First of all, I love the card. I'm happy for you.
Yep.
Are you the guy who like 3 minutes ago said, well, I can't buy expensive cards anyways? This is an exquisite auto of Mike Modano out of 25. You're a walking contradiction.
Card. I didn't buy a pack.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Right.
But that's a way to participate is by just to let other people open the packs and then buy the singles.
Josh is very pragmatic, Louis. Be careful. He's a linear thinker.
No. What did I say? The hobby can sustain it, probably.
Yeah.
I'll just get the leftovers.
These are good leftovers. All right. Next card.
That's a pretty good leftover, dude.
Yeah. Then, well, for fun, I just walked by a table at the expo and had to grab this.
Nice.
24-25 Ultimate Autograph Pro Threads. Philippe Gustafsson out of 99. Just a sick card. Nice patch.
Yeah, another cheap set.
No. This is Louis. This is when a card. This is like my Crosby. This card is perfect because even the green on the Ultimate matches the jersey. There's a jersey in the stands, the top of the boards. It's perfect, man.
It's a great
pickup.
It was just a sweet looking card. I was like, oh, $18. Okay.
He's got a good auto too for a younger player, like a recent player. Is like, it's not Crosby level, but it's as good as we get for current guys. I would think.
More Stevie Y level, but that's same difference. Same, different, right, Phil?
That's right.
I had 2 pickups, and remember when I said when we did Hidden Gems on last podcast that these segments get spendy for me? So I bought 2 from the 1995 Select Mirror Gold set. Got the Wayne Gretzky raw, and then the Patrick Roy raw as well. And these cards are just bangers in hand. Love them.
So that doesn't bother. Like, do you see how is the Colorado jersey? Like, it goes thin up the shoulders. It almost looks like man boobies. Like, I think there's something that irritates me so much about the Colorado jersey. It goes so thin from the neck, the blue, and then it stretches out with like the bingo arms. Yeah, there's something about the color. Everything irritates me about it.
Just say it's ugly as hell because it is. It's okay.
But it shouldn't be. I think if they use different blues and different reds and different lines of like geometry, it would be good.
Yeah, it could be a lot better.
Some of their alternate jerseys I do like better, like the one with like the C with like the circle on it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. And then the A, like the big, it's just,
it's an avalanche.
Thank you. It just irritates me. It makes my eyebrows twitch.
I think Bigfoot on the shoulder is really cool.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. You could do so much more cool with it, but
I do have a question about this though, Phil. Did you have fun today?
No. I have never remembered you guys. Yeah. I need to drop my respect a little bit, and then I'll be like, wait a minute, he's up to something.
Well, boys, good job. That was fun. If you like the episode, please leave a rating review on Apple, Spotify, whatever podcast app you listen to us on. If you love the show, if you love Louie, if you can tolerate Phil, and you want to support us or chat with us on the Hockey Cards Gongshow Discord server, please consider a $5 a month donation. Join our out of 999 support level tier on Patreon. Link is in the show description, in our Instagram, TikTok profiles, on our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com, or on Patreon, patreon.com, and just search for us, Hockey Cards Gongshow. We text with punctuation, but we are 4 old guys on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. And boys, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast is a production of Dollar Box Ventures, LLC. Have a great week. Have fun opening the cup. We'll see you on Wednesday night with Billy Cilio. Baba Louie, take us out.
Bye.
It's the Gong Show. We're dropping the facts. Hockey cards on fire. No holding us back. Josh looking sharp, the face of the scene. Feeling pork chop pants, rocking it clean. Baba Louie in the booth, he's the man with the plan. The best producer in all the land. Gong Show Nation, let's hit the flow. It's the Hockey Cards Gong Show. Let's go, let's go. Wanna say the men in show.
I'm sorry, what?